is a beautiful Saturday in downtown Houston. It was the Bayou Bash prior to the game. A lot of fans came out early for this, from 3 to 6 prior to tonight's game. A little food, a little festival before the game, getting ready for the Astros and the A's. Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. The A's winning last night 8-1. Astros trying to get things turned around at home. They have lost 5 of their last 6 at Minute Maid Park. Tonight, Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound for the Astros. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another night of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum and Blummer, a special guest.
Yeah, we found this guy in the concourse, and we said, hey, would you mind coming in and hanging out with us? Of course, the great Hall of Famer, Jeff Bagwell. Good to see you.
It's great to be here, guys. I got nothing else to do, so I just thought I'd come over here.
Yeah, you had a Saturday night off, right?
Just another Saturday night.
Well, there's a big reason you're in here. Number one is you got all the knowledge. You're a Hall of Fame player for the Houston Astros, but you know a little bit of something about trying to repeat in your division. You did it in the National League Central, 98, 99, 2000, and we were just talking about it before. 04, you guys were in the playoffs. In 05, you guys went to the World Series. What are you seeing from this Astros team as far as possibility of repeating?
No, I think they're going to do very well. The bottom line is they just have not hit enough. Our starting rotation has been amazing. Every single night they go out, they pitch 7 innings. They rack up strikeouts. We just haven't, we swung the bat. We're getting some hits, but we're not getting those big hits, those big doubles in the gap. We had a 3-run double by Bregman the other day, but the guys are going to be fine. They have so much talent. I look forward to the end of this year because I think really some great things can still happen.
And we look forward to having Jeff Bagwell in the booth with us, not just for 1 or 2 innings. He's here for all 9, going for the CG tonight. And we will have baseball right around the corner as we have Carlos Correa taking on the Oakland A's as the Astros try and win the middle game of this 3-game series. We'll have Julian Morales right around the corner as well. And quality, all at the lowest prices on every item, every day. Looks like a sellout crowd tonight for Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. We will hear from Julian Morales when we come back, as she will talk about Lance, and also we'll have Jeff Bagwell up in the broadcast booth as well.
season. We're seeing him try to take that next step in his career. He's trying all kinds of new things, and he was doing it in spring training and trying to stay committed to it. And we're seeing some of the results here lately. Those last 2 starts for him have been pretty good, and that's coming off of a really bad start. One of the worst starts of his career in Minnesota, April 11th. Then came back, bounced back, went 7-6 against Seattle and then Chicago. He struck out 11 in Seattle and then used the defense behind him in Chicago. The ERA 138 in those 2. He's trying to become less predictable, adding more depth in that arsenal, and the 2-seamer has really worked well with the curveball and the changeup. At times it's been good, at times he's struggled, but he's trying to stay committed, as I said earlier. A lot of work going into this. Jeff Bagwell actually spent some time out there with the team this year. He's been following along. He's joining me now, joining the guys in the booth. Baggy,
Yes.
it's hard for me to believe, but there might have been times where you were trying to work on some things early in the season or maybe spring training, but how difficult is it for anyone to kind of stick with something when you're not always seeing the good results?
No, it is hard. You've seen my swing, Julie. I was working on something all the time. But yeah, it is. Lance always has that curveball in his pocket, and he knows that. So when situations get a little dicey, he's probably going to go to that a lot. And I think what you're saying about him, using his 2-seamer and his fastball and his changeup, that he doesn't have to go to that all the time. So you don't just sit back and know every 3-1, 3-2, 2-0 counts is going to be a breaking ball when you got 95, 96 with sink. That's only going to benefit him, and I think the more he does it and he sees what he's doing, I think it'll be a lot easier to pitch deeper into games.
Lance, like Dallas Keuchel, has not pitched very much at home this year. Of his 5 starts, this is just his 2nd at home. His previous 3 have been on the road, and Blummer, he always loves pitching here at Minute Maid Park.
No, that's the amazing thing. Over his career, he's 13-5 with a 2.42, and that's in 30 games started, so a reasonable sample size to see what Lance can do here at home. I think he likes entertaining these hometown fans, but again, that rotation starting in March hasn't really set up to really give Dallas Keuchel many starts at home where he pitches extremely well. And now only the 2nd time, almost in a month, that we've seen Lance pitch here at Minute Maid Park.
So Lance will face the following lineup for Bob Melvin and the Oakland A's. Leading off for the Athletics is Matt Joyce. He hasn't had much of a chance to play lately because the A's have seen left-handers 6 of the last 7 games. Marcus Semien will bat 2nd and play shortstop. Jed Lowry off to a great start, switch hitting 2nd baseman. Chris Davis, the DH, bats in the cleanup spot. Matt Olson is at first base. He and Matt Chapman switch spots in the order with the right-hander Lance McCullers on the mound. Mark Canha is in center field batting 7th. Stephen Piscotty in right field bats 8th. And the catcher tonight is left-hand hitting Bruce Maxwell. Beautiful night tonight. Roof is open. Lance will be in the sunshine. The plate is in the shade. And we have a 3-man booth for the first time this season. We're going to do this about once a month. Jeff Bagwell is going to join us up in the booth for all 9 innings. Bag, we're looking forward to having you for the whole game.
Me too. I listen to you guys every single night. I've watched more baseball and listened to you guys more than I have ever in my life. So it's fun to be up here with you guys. We'll have some fun watching this and hopefully get an Astros win.
It's a fun team to watch, no doubt about it. They are off to that 17-10 start as Lance misses outside of Matt Joyce for a ball. It's 1-0. Still a half game in front of the Angels in the AL West. And early on, we see the situation, which we don't always see here at Minute Maid Park, where pitcher in the sunshine, batter in the shade. Is that an impact at all?
I really don't think so. I mean, a lot of people say that a lot just because you're looking at the field and you see the sunshine. But, with that backdrop they have up there, they can see the ball fine.
McCullers with a 1-1 count on Matt Joyce. And now it's 2-1.
Talking about that backdrop and the team not getting off to an electric start here at home, do you see anything that explains why maybe here at Minute Maid Park the numbers aren't what we're accustomed to?
No, I think generally us sitting here right now and the rest of the fans here in Houston, we got spoiled last year.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, you're not going to go out there and be up by 20 games in June very often. So they have to battle, and they're still, right around first place.
Ball into right field. Josh Reddick hardly has to move as he puts it away for the first out of the evening. Our starting defense is presented by Xfinity. The outfield from left to right. Derek Fisher gets a start in left field. George Springer in center. You just saw Josh Reddick. Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa on the left side. On the right side, Jose Altuve and Marwin Gonzalez. Yuli Gurriel will be the DH tonight, and Brian McCann will catch Lance McCullers.
Well, just to finish that, as I said, we're spoiled. But I will tell you this: when you got three of the top 5 guys in the ERA, leading the ERA,
man down.
Oh, Tommy Hallion.
Tom Hallion took one and went down in a hurry behind home plate.
96-mile-an-hour heater foul tipped.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah, right back into the chest. It squared him up.
Wow, that's scary. I mean, he's staggered and went down right after that foul ball hit him, and he is being attended to quickly.
Do you have any favorite umpires when you played, Baggy?
He's one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me how, and I've known him for a long time.
Easy conversation.
He's great. In fact, last time I was here, I saw him when they were here. Saw him in the tunnel.
No
Good
kidding.
man. This is tough. Umpires, they can take a beating behind home plate. They're not really ready for impact like the catcher is. When they get one, it's probably a little bit of that they haven't seen it. They can't really, because they're looking to see if it's a strike, and next thing you know, it hits them
So
in the
they're
chest.
focused on something a little bit different, right?
Right.
He's a crew chief. He's been around for a while. Scott Behringer, the assistant athletic trainer out there, he is wide open right here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it caught more of that
Underneath the
right
arm.
shoulder, yeah. But like you said, it's such a stunning experience to get drilled by a fastball.
Yeah, he's trying to call balls and strikes. He's not thinking about that.
Hope that didn't hurt his right arm for Lance.
I don't think it will. He'll be all right. No, there's a lot, umpires. There's some great umpires. It's funny to see all these guys still here, and I've been retired for a long time. I love Joe West. I love all those guys. They're fun. Good people.
You're beginning to talk about it last year and how it was quite a ride to win 101 games and have a big lead. That doesn't happen very often.
It does not. And we talked about that in spring training. It just doesn't happen like that all the time. And, the entire West has gotten better. But, as I was saying, when you got the kind of pitching staff that we have, they're going to be fine. And when our guys start to hit, somebody's going to pay a little bit for these guys not doing the damage that they normally do.
Lance ahead of the count, 1-2 on Marcus Semien. It seems like when you add a guy like Justin Verlander, now he's here for the full season, and a Garrett Cole, they seem more like throwback guys to when you played, and that 200 innings is their goal each and every season.
I agree with you, TK, and I think Justin and Garrett, I think with their fast, it's amazing to watch JV pitch. He doesn't care who's up. Was it Trout or Pujols the other day? He's throwing his fastball. He doesn't care. And I think that's beautiful. It makes all his other stuff better. And as a hitter, you got to respect 95, 96, and that's what Lance has. And, I hope that rubs off on Lance. Because he has that breaking ball, it makes his fastball that much better.
2-2 count to Marcus Semien. Garrett Cole looking on.
So I know you go down there and talk to a lot of the hitters. Do you talk to any of the pitchers?
I have before.
Or do you avoid
I've
them?
talked to Charlie Morton a bunch. No, I don't. No, Craig does that. Craig's the one that hates pitchers. I got no problem. Some of my best friends are pitchers. So
on the ground, Correa from the hole, and he makes a strong throw. Correa's defense this year has been solid, Baggy.
You know what? There's always a talk in the game about Lindor and Carlos. I don't know. I know I'm partial to Carlos, but he's special. He's a once-in-a-generation type player. The one that it brings to my mind all the time is Alex Rodriguez. A big, tall shortstop that hits with power. He's got an incredible arm. It does a lot of things out there. He's just special.
2 outs, nobody on. Jed Lowry, the batter.
These guys went out there and kind of ruined all the banners you worked so hard to put up on that light standard out there.
I'm okay with that.
By putting up the 2017 World Series championship. But you played on teams that have contended. The late 90s teams were phenomenal. You guys 98, 99, 2000. And even in 04 when you guys, we talked about the offense in 04 was outstanding in the playoffs. But then you guys back it up by making it to the World Series in 05. Just give us an idea of what it was like coming back the next year and trying to get back to the playoffs.
Well, it was two different teams. We had such a great offense in 04. In 05, we won with our pitching. You got Rocket and Andy and Roy. You had Lidge closing. It was special. But you don't go into every single year. Every year is going to be different. It's just like hitting. Some days you're going to get off. Some years you're going to get off to hit 150 in April. Some years you're going to get off to hit 380. It's just a grind. And for us back then, I don't think you ever look at it as somebody's out to get us. They know who you are. But they know that these guys, they should walk out there knowing that they're better than everybody they play. And if they believe that, and with the talent they have, then we're going to find ourselves in a nice spot in October.
That is a called third strike. Right arm still working for Hallion as we are through the first, as Lance gets a fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout to start this game. They have George Springer at the top of the lineup in center field, followed by Jose Altuve. Carlos Correa with that 11-game hitting streak. Also good numbers against Mengden. Yuli Gurriel DHing. Josh Reddick in right. Alex Bregman at third. Marwin Gonzalez at first. Brian McCann and Derek Fisher round out your Houston lineup.
Right-hander Daniel Mengden going for the Oakland A's. He's got some pretty good numbers on the season. In 30 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 31 hits, but only 3 walks, 23 punch-outs. Comes right after the hitters. Last start against Boston, 0 walks, 5 punch-outs, and only gave up 1 earned run in 6 1/3. And Baggy thinks his mustache is pretty special.
I just got it in the sunlight right there. It's even getting better. He got his hands over his head and that mustache. That is straight Raleigh fingers right there.
Fitting that he pitches for the A's.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And he's got that little double.
He does.
Pump.
Old school.
Yeah, he's kind of double pumps when he delivers.
That's almost a little Nolan right there.
And into right field, coming on is Piscotty, and he won't get there. That's going to drop in for a hit. Not sure if George knew where that was.
No clue where that was. He had no clue, and that is a beautiful thing.
That happens to you every once in a while. You hit a ball, you have no idea.
I don't ever remember that happening to me. I never. I'm kidding. I'm sure it did, but yeah, it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, you keep your eyes on George.
He has no idea. That's beautiful.
And especially with the roof open too, the sunlight, who knows where that thing is.
Well, the right fielder seeing that huge swing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
first
no, there it is. Look, watch how happy George is. Oh my God!
Oh no!
How about Cintron just laughing at him?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a way to get the game started with Springer.
I swear to you guys, we were just talking about this in the clubhouse, George and I, how he never gets hits like that.
This guy gets hits like that.
Yeah,
but that was ripped.
Yeah, well, that's Jose Altuve. That's our MVP right there.
So is Springer saying Altuve gets all the blue pits?
Oh yeah, and I was too. I said it at home and I watch him and I'm jealous. He's just special. He's just something you can't even imagine. I mean, Tony Gwynn was a lot like him. He just, there's 8 guys out there in front of the catcher, and 7 guys would dive for the ball, and the 8th guy would pick it up in the outfield. But this is what we needed. That down there to get us going right here. We got first and second. That's perfect. It's a great way to start.
When you're struggling as a team, how much hope does it give those guys when you see a little duck snort end up out there landing for a hit?
Yeah, well, you guys got to remember too. Now they're spoiled too. They're used to doing really, really well all the time
and destroying people.
Killing people.
Yes.
So that once they start seeing this again, then they get that good feeling again. The bottom line is you still got to hit it, but it's a good way for us to start.
So Springer a flare hit to right, and then Altuve a line drive single to left, and now Carlos Correa, who is 5 for 9 with a home run in his career against Daniel Mengden at the plate. Baggy, you usually knew when you were coming up against a pitcher you had pretty good numbers against?
You know what? Not really. They didn't have analytics like you guys have now. I mean, I had an idea. There's one guy I told you earlier before, that's Scott Sullivan. I think I'm 0 for 26 against him. I know that, but I didn't bunt. I wouldn't bunt. I was not going to go out like that. Of course, I'm sure my manager probably wish I did. But no, I mean,
that was the only guy that had success against him.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
We've got a full page later. We're going to show people guys who had success against.
I wouldn't say that, but you know, I would imagine, you know, Carlos knows if he's 5 for 9, and obviously he probably knows that a little bit. So let's try and make it 6 for 10.
Now he's thrown breaking ball. He's 2-0.
Yeah, with first and second. I'm not positive he's getting a heater right here.
No,
but you got to look for it though.
Yeah.
A little low and inside.
So you always have to swing off the fastball. You know, you can have a thought in your mind that, okay, this might be a situation. The only thing is that Jose's at first, so he doesn't want to walk a guy. But now he's in big trouble. But you always have to hit off of that. If you don't, and then all of a sudden he throws that fastball and you go, oh, there it is. It's down the middle, and I'm not ready for it, and I jam myself.
3-0. Are you shrinking your strike zone at this point?
Oh, yeah. I'm coming out of my shoes right here if it's close.
So it's anywhere near the zone?
Well, no. Something probably middle away, depending on who the guy is. If he's a sinker ball guy, then I got to look middle in, not in. That makes sense. I think he's forcing it. No, it's a slider.
It's amazing how the game has changed.
Yeah, it is.
Our Best in Texas Power pitch is presented by Ford. Talking about that fastball, that's why you want to hunt that fastball. Right. You should be able to crush that pitch, and that 362 number is massive.
Now, so what's the question now? Is what do we got here?
Especially when you see a 3-0 slider.
Yeah. You still got to hit off a fastball right here.
But I think that's why Carlos is good, and I think when Baggy says hit off the fastball, you're sitting heater, and if you get that mistake slider, oh boy, you're ready. But you're ready
because you're ready to hit.
Yep.
Exactly right.
How often, I've had conversations with Jeff Kent, I've had conversations with you, but you guys are very good about predicting if you were about to go out and get a guy, or you could almost predict what count you were going to get that hit off a guy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you could anticipate almost.
You know, there's that. You do. You know, and generally in this game, in real life, first thought is generally wrong. But in baseball, your first thought is generally what you should go with. You know, if you feel like this is the situation where I'm going to get this, you can sell out for that. You know, unless you have 2 strikes, then you always got. Well, like I said, you have to hit off the fastball. But if you have 2 strikes, then you got to be ready for everything and just change where you're thinking on the field, more towards right, center field, and stuff like that to stay through the baseball. If you do get a breaking ball or a fastball,
mentality changes a little bit with runners in scoring position.
Big time.
How so?
It's a different animal because this is when the pitcher is the most nervous. So you have to understand that. He doesn't want to walk anybody, but he doesn't want to give up a grand slam either.
Pretty good rip at that 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Now, there are exceptions. I'm not sure. I don't know if it happened at the end of his career, but I think Tom Glavine never gave up a grand slam. We have to check on that.
That's pretty good.
He's not giving in. He'd rather walk a guy than give up a grand slam.
But he also had great command of 3 different pitches, too.
Yes, he did. And he had about 4 inches on the outside part of the plate.
I was going to say, that was a different strike zone they were working with.
The strike zone is definitely different.
Yuli hitting over 500 in his career. The base is loaded. And he drills one to center field. Pretty well hit. Back goes Canna, and he will make the play. Tagging at second and going to third is Altuve. Scoring is Springer. Astros out 1-0 on the sac fly by Yuli Gurriel.
Big hit.
I think Yuli's one of those guys who really does a good job of getting the barrel to it.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I swear he hits a line drive every single time. When there's guys in scoring position, I love when Yuli's up because he's going to make contact and he's going to hit it hard somewhere. That one got in just a little bit.
He clears the hands pretty well.
He does. His bat head stays in the zone a long time. Unlike mine, that was like a broomstick that went in, out.
Where were you, though?
I was going to say, you had the timing down pretty good, I guess.
I don't know about that. 1,500 strikeouts will tell you something different.
I think the plaque might argue the other way around.
Here's Josh Reddick going against his former team. Correa bluffed to go, and now he stays at first.
You know, Reddick, you know, a lot of people talk about this team and, you know, obviously winning the World Series and big, but they forget about what Jim and AJ and especially Jeff going out and get Josh Reddick very, very early in the offseason and what an impact he has made on our team in the clubhouse, in the field, defensively, and his hitting. I mean, he's been great. How about when they got Charlie Morton? Nobody remembers that.
Yep.
I mean, that was huge for us.
There were more questions about that signing than anything, and now we are so thankful to have him.
I know. So those are the little things that make ball clubs great. And that's the stuff that general managers and owners do to try and make this ball club as best they can every single year. And, the process of getting to where we are right now has been a long process, but it sure is a fun process right now.
The other aspect of Reddick's game that you love is his base running.
I do.
Going into first to third last night on a ball off Minaya that barely got into the outfield.
TK, that's exactly right.
Sends the ball high in the air to right field. Altuve's at third. Piscotty camps under it.
He's gone.
We are going to have a play as Piscotty throws home, and he is safe at home plate. Altuve scores on the sac fly by Reddick. Correa also moved up to second.
Exactly. The throw is going to be over the cutoff man's head, and that's when you go to second base on that. It's a very, very easy read.
It's beautifully done. Again, runners at third base, less than 2 outs. Baggy knows all too well. Those should be guaranteed RBIs, and that's a guy like Altuve at third base. That speed's going to score easy.
Yeah, it's actually was closer than I thought, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm not worried about it with Jose. But we got a guy in scoring position again. I mean, those are the things that we have to do consistently to continue this run that we got. And our boys, man, they're out there and they are grinding every single night. And they all have, goals of what they want to achieve personally and as a team.
A lot of people at home haven't been on the field like you guys. When you say easy read, you're watching where the cutoff man is and seeing the throw?
No, you're watching the height of the throw. And once you see that he's not going to be able to cut it, then it's a no-brainer.
Well, anticipate bad throw.
Exactly.
And if the good throw comes, you can go back.
Yes, exactly.
Now he's in scoring position for Alex Bregman.
This kid right here, I'm a big fan of him. I mean, he's old school. He's just a straight baseball player. He likes to play baseball. I would like him to swing at that pitch.
Like it better if he'd have swung.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Do you notice any difference in the approach from the Houston Astros this year? Because
nope.
For me, I feel they're a little more passive on some of the fastballs early in counts.
Well, you're right. I think if you look, and we've talked about this down in the clubhouse, and you and I have talked about this too, we have not hit the fastball like we did last year. You guys used to bring up stats all the time last year. Fastballs over 94, 95 miles an hour, we were better than anybody. And now we're fouling them off. But everybody has to realize, if this happened, if we go 17 to 10?
Yep.
In the middle of July, would you take that?
Absolutely.
Of course, we're spoiled. And these guys are spoiled at how great they are, and they know. But let me tell you something, there's no lack of effort from these guys.
I think the part where you get spoiled is this team last year with the fewest strikeouts and the most runs. That's not a combination you see very often. There's a ball driven deep to right field, sending Piscotty back. He's on the track. He reaches up off the wall. Correa scores. Bregman to second. It is 3-0 Astros in the first.
Very nice. See Alex stay back on this ball and drive it to right center. He's been working very, very, very hard at doing that.
Go for it. Call it.
Lets it get deep. See his head stays right with that baseball all the way through. That's a beautiful swing. I'll tell you what. I mean, you guys can putting him up with guys in scoring position in big situations. There's not many guys that I would rather have up there than Alex. You saw that in the World Series.
Well, how about for how young he is to be able to have that patience and awareness?
He's just a baseball player. He doesn't miss stuff.
That instinct that says,
got it. Yeah, and he's got that little swag to him. He's getting better. I mean, think about last year when he was at third. From day one, you played third, obviously, Bregman. From day one to the end of the season, how much better he got.
Oh, it's night and day. The footwork was unbelievable.
But the play on the run, how he makes. Come on,
but to the point you're making about him being a ball player, he had to take a slice of humble pie to move from shortstop to third base. But he also understood, if I'm going to be in the big leagues, I need to be a third baseman.
Yeah.
But he also understood that he had to go out and work extra hard because he's never played.
I got that story when somebody asked me 10 days left in spring training, you want to play third base in AAA or first base in the big leagues? I'm no rocket science guy, but where do I get a first baseman?
10 days you had to get ready.
10 days. Bob Robertson. I'll tell you what, that was not a problem for me starting in Cincinnati back in 1991.
Yeah, because your bat's going to move over there with you. That's a good thing.
Exactly right. If you can hit, they'll find something. But he can do everything. He can hit. He's got power. I mean, just hit that ball right there. That was a line drive.
Here's Marwin with a 1-0 count, another runner in scoring position. Astros out 3-0. Starting this broadcast thing, or Baggy, with you in the booth for a full game, it's 3-0 already. They
See what I'm saying?
The team may want you around a little more.
Yeah,
So
it was good knowing you guys.
I'm leaving this to you guys.
I'm going to go collect my pension now.
Well, okay, let's get off of this. But this is another guy, Marwin, that people don't realize how special he was last year.
Oh.
We can say a lot about the stuff that happened in the World Series, but that home run off of Jansen, not only did it tie the game up, but it put a dent in their armor, where nobody could score against the Dodgers bullpen. Well, welcome to the rest of the World Series, because that's what we did.
You're right. Nobody had scored on that Dodgers bullpen in the NLDS or NLCS.
No, that was perfectly stated, because he did it in their ballpark, too.
Yes.
I mean, he silenced a good 50,000 people by hitting that bomb. And Kenley Jansen, man.
Think about what happened the rest of the series. I mean, that was huge. And, you know, that's another one. We stick with Marwin. And, you know, Marwin is special, man. He can play anywhere. You don't find guys like that.
Well, play anywhere at a plus level, too.
Plus level defensively and offensively. He's got pop, obviously. We just talked about a home run he hit against Kenley Jansen.
Well, if you talk about WAR numbers and he's the replacement, those numbers get smaller because he's way above replacement at all those positions.
He is great. I mean, just a great ball club, this whole thing. We got so many things that we can get better at. And that's, you know, for me, I said that to the guys in spring training when I talked to the group. It's hard to sit there and go, hey, man, you guys can get better. I'm sorry you just won the World Series. But like I said, man, you're never going to, you know, not every year you're going to go out and win by 20 games. Look at this.
Bregman on the move, and there's a swing and a miss. The Astros are down in the first, but not before they score 3. A couple sac flies and an RBI double by Alex Bregman. And Houston, after 1, leads at 3-0.
Park, top of the second inning, and the Athletics are trailing early to the Astros 3-0. And the fastball is a big key for Lance McCullers. He can work off that, and we heard Baggy saying he likes the aggressiveness. But here, the interesting thing about that fastball is it creates ground balls, and it also creates punch-outs. He throws it at 96 miles an hour. The location where McCann was setting up on that inside corner gives you a good idea that there is some arm side run to that pitch coming back on the plate.
Oh, there's tons. Let me tell you something, guys. You stand in there and try and face 96, 97, right-handed against right-handed with sink. There's nothing you can do with that ball except hit it foul or hit your shin. You know, and that's such a weapon when you're down. You say you're 2-0 in the count, the pitcher is, that I can throw a two-seamer in there and get another ground ball.
And that's when the right-handed hitter is looking for the fastball.
Exactly. You want him to look for that fastball. Because you can't elevate it. Not at that speed. I mean, you got to be real good. I mean, probably the only guy that I know, like I'm looking at right here, is that Altuve guy out there. He can hit pretty much hit anything.
3 straight fastballs to Davis on the third one. He sends one deep to left field, and Fisher has a play on it right in front of the Oakland A's bullpen.
That's what we talked about. When he hits the ball, it never comes down.
Chris Davis.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Hit more home runs than anybody since the start of 2016.
I mean,
He just got under that one.
I don't know how to explain it. He's not a big guy. I mean, he's strong, but the ball just carries. I guess it's just his lower half must get into the ball real well. Uses, I mean, because your muscles, your biceps and triceps and your chest, they don't do anything for you. It's your core, it's your legs. That's where your power comes from.
I know already this guy's got your favorite stance on the Oakland A side.
Oh my God! You know what? It is my favorite stance because it makes me feel good about me. Sorry about that, Matt. But you got to take that.
You're not.
You got to take that with that. You got to take the good with the bad.
Takes the called strike.
Now, in saying that, his hands are out over the plate. Lance throws 96. He's seen 2 curveballs.
That's not what I'm throwing him. But that's okay. I'm not on the mound. I just don't know if he can't handle Lance's fastball in. I can't believe he'd have to show me that.
Because of where he starts.
Yeah, I don't see how he can get it there. Right there.
Right there. You like that pitch.
Yes. Now we can throw a 2-seamer out the side. He's not going to swing at it. And throw him another one out there and see what happens. Or come back in.
Say if he throws that sinker away, maybe get that roller in a second. Because he's going to try and clear to get to that pitch.
He has to.
There you guys go. Little ground ball to second. Altuve on a couple of hops. 2 away.
Let's change it. Right?
Yeah, but he clear those hips trying to get to the heater.
But it's not a breaking ball. That's the positive thing. Because now he doesn't. So he's seen fastball, changeup. So the next time around,
he did a great job on that MD Anderson strike zone. The fastball away, fastball in.
That's called pitching, fellas. That's what we're hoping the Verlander brings over. To watch him just dominate people. Not mess around on the mound. Just go out, give me the ball. Here's my heater. Can you hit it? I watched him do it to Harper in spring training.
Well, that was the thing, too. In some of the conversations and interviews that we've heard from Justin Verlander, he really stresses the fact that he attacks the zone. He's not trying to set up a pitch later in the – he is attack.
You know what? The best pitchers in the game, we had this conversation earlier, too, is about waste pitches. Why waste a pitch? Because what happens is as a hitter, if you throw a pitch that when it leaves your hand, automatically I know it's a ball, what's the point? Greg Maddux is the best at that. And I know I'm talking about a Hall of Famer. Every pitch he threw, I had to flinch like I might swing at. I mean, if you get 0-2 and you start messing around with curveballs in the dirt and a fastball up and away, I mean, it changes everything. You go from dead to maybe, your gills are working a little bit and you got a chance to swim.
There's a pulse.
That is the worst analogy I've ever given in my life.
Meanwhile, you hit 7
It's all right.
bombs.
We got it on tape.
7 bombs against Greg Maddux. So you were able to swim.
He was changing balls when I hit it. I got that from Brad Osmus. I'm not going to take that.
305, 7 bombs.
Yeah, but there's about 40 points of that when he was playing with the Dodgers and throwing 84.
Stop. Such a liar.
That's not a lie. It's true.
2-2 count, and Chapman bounces 1 foul.
You've got some evidence.
He deserved
That's
it.
back in the Dome days.
He was throwing a no-hitter here, I think.
That broke up a no-no?
I think so, yeah.
Take that.
Sorry about that. And,
But that was that running 2-seam fastball in on the hands. And you faced him when he actually had a little more than 88 miles an hour back.
it was the hardest 88
that
anybody had.
Yeah.
That's
Launch and carry.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. It was a wind blown or something. I'm just glad it's over with. This game's too hard. It wears on you.
It really does.
It's just so unpredictable. But the great thing about our game is, and it's not really for, if I'm talking to high school kids or even my 11-year-old son, we get to play every single day. So if you strike out 4 times, you got a chance the next day. Case in point, George Springer. Guy plays in his first World Series game, punches out 4 straight times, no clue, no chance, nothing. 5 bombs and an MVP later. That's what's beautiful about our game.
Every day's a new day. Every day is a chance of redemption.
So you're saying I got a chance?
Yep.
At Chapman hanging in there at 3-2.
Well, and that's something that you were one of the guys. You were actually my hitting coach there for a brief moment, but you were one of the few guys that actually talked about and believed in the mentality. What am I working with today? Because we talk so much about analytics, and it gives you a very big, broad picture at times, whereas daily, you don't know how you're going to feel showing up that day. That bat may not feel like it's yours. You may have a jammed thumb. You may have a bad knee.
And picks up a strikeout. We'll discuss that more when we come back. Middle of the second inning. Lance off to a good start, retiring the first 6.
than the manager of the Houston Astros.
Uh-huh.
He watches that stuff, Julie.
Here's Brian McCann leading off the bottom half of the second inning. Julia downstairs, as she always is, and up in the booth, Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, and Jeff Bagwell. We have a three-man booth tonight for 9 innings. Baggy joining us here in that you and Blummer were starting to discuss coming into that last break there in the middle of the second about the day-to-day.
Right, and what Blummy was saying is working with what you got. So the analytics and the field, they go together. It could be a bunch of different ways you can look at it. And you take... Okay, this is a disclaimer I want to say to the fans right here.
Not responsible
when we
for what
do
happens
this,
now.
when we do this, and he keeps saying you look at it, or TK says, and I say it, or something like that. That's okay to hear it here and talk to the TV like that, but don't talk to your parents like that. Trust me. But anyway, so you go with what you got. So you listen to everything that they bring to you. You take the information what you need. You do your soft toss. You do everything. But when you get in that batter's box, all you got to do is, well, not all you got to do. You have to compete with whatever you've been working on. You leave that there. It'll take over. For me, one of the best advices I ever got, doesn't that make sense, is Stan Javier. Because he kept watching me mess with my feet. So he came to me and said, Bags, just go with what God gave you that day. If God told you that your feet are supposed to stand like that, then just hit. Because if you're trying to move them, you're not going to hit anything. So you gotta just adjust. And that's what this game is, man. It's all adjusting.
So in that scenario, did you then just go up there and not worry about?
No, I still messed with my feet. I mean, I wasn't comfortable. But it was good advice.
Oh, man.
But it's at bat to at bat, you're just trying to find where your comfort zone is.
Yeah, I mean, there's days you're going to walk out there and there's nothing you can do wrong, you know. But as a whole, with a game that we deal with as hitters of failure, it's tough. You know, if you know, everybody's heard it before. You feel, you know, you 3 out of 10 times you're an all-star and all that kind of stuff. But it's true. So it's just a constant battle up there. Some days you don't feel well.
There's Derek Fisher, and he takes a changeup.
And the point of all that, TK, was if I'm thinking about my feet, if I'm thinking about my hands, if I'm thinking about my exit velocity and all that, how are you going to hit? You know, you got to compete against that dude, because at the bottom line is he controls the ball. After he throws it, then you can do the best you can, but you got 7 guys out there that can catch it. So you can hit 4-line drives, and you can go 0 for 4. Or you can hit 4 jam shots.
But your exit feeler's off the charts.
Exactly. If I hit a ball 108 and make an out,
you're just as mad.
Don't come to me and say, way to go.
We had this conversation the other day.
If I hit it 61 miles
and
off
get a
my
knock?
bat and get a knock,
what?
Way to hit it.
Yeah, you crushed that one.
This game is about production. Sorry.
No, that's the truth.
But, you know, it's great that the guys get all this information and stuff, and I'm not discounting that at all. I think it's all important. It all works together. And nobody does it better than AJ. AJ, what he does of using the feel he has for the game of baseball, the analytics, and nobody does a better job that I've been around as far as being a people person. His skills of being a manager and talking to guys. A team of stars that we have that will sit down and let another guy play and cheer for that guy. That's the special thing that this club has. I mean, I've never seen a club that just totally enjoys playing baseball with each other. I mean, it's special to watch. And you walk in that clubhouse, you see the music going. I mean, I'm not so sure I like the music, but they're having fun. And that's in a game that you struggle and you spend so much time with. I mean, obviously you spend more time with your teammates than you do your family. So it's really nice to see. It's refreshing. And, you know, I think AJ's a huge part of that. And what Jeff and Jim have done to put on the field is something that should not be taken just for granted.
No, I think you do a great job of bringing up the point of having fun and seeing it in other guys. And we've got Get Out and Play. It's presented to you by Toyota. And some of that joy that Baggy and I are talking about, you played with this guy for 35, 40 years, felt like. Midge, some guy. Yeah, never heard of him. But these guys go out and have a blast. And I think you said it best. I haven't seen a team that goes out and enjoys each other as much as these guys do.
Yeah, well, Blummy, I mean, they're basically your family for almost 9 months. And everything that goes on and all our dead time and all the time we spend in the dugout and all that kind of stuff, when you get between the lines, I wouldn't say, unless you're hitting homers all over the place, no, that's fun. But it's a grind. it's the other stuff that you do together and enjoy other people's success. And then when you see that and the success of a club, that's when you have special clubs.
Derek Fisher hits one hard and off the shortstop. Simeon with Fisher's speed, no chance. Smoked that ball, but in the shift, it was right at the shortstop. He was unable to make the play.
No, that ball absolutely ate Simeon alive. It was hit extremely hard. Would have been a tough play, but his feet get set in the ground and the hands turn into rocks.
How would you play that thing? Luck, Ole.
That left drop step, play the long hop. Don't play
the long
that
top, that way they can't give you an error, they give the guy a hit.
Yeah. Oh, I had a guy in AA that had a fielding percentage off the charts. And I go, how are you doing
Never got
this?
in front of the ball.
And he goes, hey, you got to know how to play it into a hit.
That's a veteran telling you that. That was Crash Davis that tells you that.
It was. He'd been in AA for a long time. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, no kidding. Not on my team. I'm not going to let you be like that.
That was an error charge to Simeon. Derek Fisher in the top 10 in sprint speed in the major leagues. They didn't have all these analytics back then. But
no, the only thing I had at first base was, what is he to home plate? If he was, for me, if it was like 138 above, I had a shot. Anything for that, you sit your number 5 back close to first base.
and how much did it depend on the catcher as well? Was it mostly just the
there's not many of those catchers
around?
I think I've been picked off first base one time in my life, and I could be wrong, but I think so. And it was in a spring training game against the Rangers in Arlington. Some other dude named Pudge Rodriguez decided to swivel.
He was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see it. I mean, I ran by him. I said, "What is that, man? This is spring training." Come on, man, embarrassed me. My family was there.
So taking that further, you never got picked off in a regular season game. Let's just assume that's
just assume. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
But,
that's good.
But for a guy like me, I had to have those numbers. So there's my analytics. I had to have those numbers to know if I had a chance. But I would also do something, and this is the gift of playing first base. When a pitcher's going to throw to first base, he tips that he's going to throw. You can see in his body mannerism. And when he didn't, that's when I would leave early.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. You were legendary for getting about a 3-step takeoff until the guy went home.
Right here, when he sits there, you know whether he's throwing the first or not.
Based on.
And you know what? You can go and everybody's screaming and yelling. Pitcher doesn't know it. And here's the other fallacy about the pitcher. They cannot see you when they're looking over their shoulder. They cannot. So that little stare that they give you, there's nothing going on.
They're just looking at a piece of
They're doing like
their shoulder.
Yeah, that or the rim of their cap right here that they has that says underneath it says throw strikes.
Fisher out a little further. So you feel like because you were first baseman, you could almost always tell when a guy was coming to the plate or picking you.
Yeah, I see Rizzo do that with the Cubs a lot. He'll just be standing on first. I've done it times, right? Just standing there and the guy throws over. They're like, well, why is he standing there? Well, I can see what you're doing. But, you know, you don't see that many catchers that throw. And you know what? Today's game is different. When I first came up, probably in '91, and before me, you know, guys like Nolan, if you got to first base, he didn't care if he stole. He struck out the next 3 guys. You know, he didn't care. You know, so his leg kick, he was like 1-6. But the problem was stealing first.
There goes Fisher on the 3-1 pitch. Springer chops one to short. Simeon makes the play. Fisher gets to second base. The 2 outs, a runner on second. Fisher, as we saw last year in Game 5 of the World Series, and we've seen it a few times this year as a pinch runner, he is the fastest player, pure speed-wise, on this roster. When he gets out on second base, any base hit to the outfield is almost an automatic.
Well, he's going to go for sure because Pet's going to send him no matter what. But, you know, he does a lot with speed, but the other guys, they can do some stuff, too, of how they run the bases, how they can make turns to make up for the speed that they don't have. Fish just can flat-out outrun the throw coming in from the outfield.
Yeah, he's just going to overwhelm it. But it's also, it's the route you take, but it's also the anticipation.
There's a ball into the
shocking
right center field. Altuve with an RBI. Altuve turns first and heads to second, and he will be out at second base. Fisher already crossed the plate. That'll be a run scored. Altuve ends up getting thrown out to end the inning. 4-0 Astros on Altuve's second hit of the night. What'd you think at second?
No, well, it looked like it was close, but nobody's arguing. But that's where he should have been. That's exactly what he should do in that situation.
AJ's going to have him look at it.
There you go.
Well, Baggy, we'll have our first review with you in the booth. We'll get to break this one down.
Perfect. We got a shot at this on our Mattress Firm Super Bowl. Throw comes in. Altuve with the feet first.
Safe.
I completely agree.
As long as he stays on the bag, which he does.
He's safe. There he goes back out there. That's Altuve. For sure he'll be safe. You don't call him out.
That's Altuve. You see a lot of guys when they feel like they're safe, stay out there and be like, we're going to a review. Altuve just like, I'm not sure. I'm going to head back to the dugout if they decide it's.
I'll be back next time up.
Yeah, he's already got the hit in the bag. It's a big deal.
To have 200 hit seasons for 4 straight and now on pace for 5th, it's quite remarkable.
It's mind-boggling. I mean, you know, just playing the game, you know, if you got 160, 170 hits, I mean, he's doing it every single day. And it's just amazing because he does it line to line. There's not one way to pitch Jose. I mean, you could try all you want. That's why I said earlier about guys with sinkers. The only one guy that can hit it is Jose. Because inside, out, a sinker in, and hit it to right. So
they turn over the call by Adam Hammery as Altuve is safe at second base. Ends up with a double.
That's Jose Altuve's 5th double. Is there any concern for you about the power numbers?
Nope. The power numbers for Jose and Bregman and a lot of guys, they go in bunches. You know, you start getting that swing here and there, and all of a sudden you get the right guys that are pitching to your swing. And as funny as that sounds, there are certain times pitchers throw into my bad swing.
No, yeah.
And you get lucky.
Then you need that.
Yes. I need to get lucky as many as possible, but he's special, and there's just no way to defense him, and he's going to hit his power. He's going to do all that. You got to remember, we're thinking about everything that ended at the World Series. I mean, we're just, what, 28 games in?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of baseball to play. You know, hits here is 24, 25, 26. He might hit 30 some year. Who knows?
Which is remarkable.
It is.
Because he never was that guy until the last 2 years ago.
No, and you can see his swing. When he back legs it, those are his power swings. The other ones are a little bit out in front. He shoots it over there like that. I mean, he's just, I know I've said it 1,000 times already, but he's just different than everybody else.
You could see the relief on his face, though, Wednesday after 101 ABs without a home run to get that first one out of the way.
Well, here's the deal. As much as we say we're not worried about it, he's thinking about it. Just like Bregman, same way. They're like, oh, I haven't gone deep. I said, dude, don't worry about it. It'll happen when it happens. Just keep getting your hits, doing what you're doing. You're going to be fine.
Carlos Correa bats. He walked his first time up. Correa starts the night with 20 runs batted in. Astros out 4-0 tonight. Altuve is already 2 for 2 in the second inning. He's never had a 5-hit game, Baggy.
I saw that. You guys was on the road trip. I think you brought that up.
Yeah, because we were in Chicago. We were talking about Springers. Springer had one in Chicago.
Yeah, well, I'm actually shocked about that because it's not like he walks.
That helps him get to 200 hits too.
Okay, let's just call it then. Is it going to happen tonight? Why not?
2 hits in 2 innings.
I'm here. I got nothing else to do.
Well, if he gets 5 hits, I'm blaming everything on you, and I'm going to go tell him tomorrow.
Why?
Because you finally decided to come up here and hang out. Instead of down there,
you intimidate me by how tall you are, and you got a better arm than I do.
Right now.
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Magnan has to come off the mound, bare hands and throws. Nice play by the A's pitcher to get Carlos Correa on a little chopper to end the inning. But the Astros add another run. We're through 2. It's 4-0 Houston.
Ultimate SW Fan NTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. North Texas April is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big. Lance McCullers Jr. back to work. One of the things they've worked on with him over the last couple of seasons, getting into the game strong, having those clean innings right out of the gate. And he's done that. AJ said he's better at home when it comes to that. But when he's inside the zone to start the game, it just changes the entire approach of the other dugout. He said this particular team, the A's, are good inside the zone. They don't chase a lot, so he's going to have to beat him in the zone. But if he can set that tone that he'll throw strikes, he's likely in for a good day. We've seen it so far, guys.
Yeah, 22 out of 32 strikes so far, Julia. And that's one thing with this A's team, as Canna sends one to right field towards the corner. Long run for Reddick, and this ball's foul. It seems like this is a team that's up and coming in terms of their offense. Last year, they might have left the zone a little more. And we saw last night a pretty solid offense without them chasing too much against Dallas.
Yeah, they did. But here's the deal. When you're in the zone with Lance's stuff, that's a whole different animal.
Sure.
I mean, because his bad pitches can be fouled off. Dallas is more of a finesse pitcher that works both sides of the plate, and his deception on his changeup and his cutter, you know, just totally different dudes. But Dallas is special. Dallas can do some really great things, and he pitches. Like, that's the definition of a pitcher is Dallas. You know, and so are all these guys. I mean, but they do it in a different way, and that's what's so special about it.
They're so unique, all five of them.
They're all different, yeah. But they're all good.
You've seen Garrett Cole now, and he's made 5 starts. There's Charlie Morton, guy who pitched the 5th game, the home opener. I mean, there's no rest for
none.
One of these 5.
There's certain situations you have teams that you go into and go, oh, great. I got to go in there. So let's see if I can get 1 hit out of 15. I'm in good shape. And I would imagine playing against us, that can happen too.
Fisher gets a good jump, bobbles it, but hangs with it and makes the catch for out number 1.
Is there ever a rotation where you felt that 1 through 5 you were uncomfortable the entire time, much like we're seeing some teams against this rotation?
I mean, I'd probably be not that smart if I didn't say the Braves.
That's how I feel too. The late '90s Braves. Well, you faced them in the mid '90s.
Yeah, I mean, we got
Steve Avery,
3 first ballot Hall of Famers. Steve Avery, how about Millwood?
Millwood was flamethrowing him when he was younger.
Yeah, and then the Cubs in the early 2000s when they had Zambrano, Wood, Pryor, and the other right-hander. I mean, there's a whole bunch of strikeouts in there.
I don't want to bring up that one game.
No, why? It's awesome.
Kerry Wood.
The only time I've never been mad about striking out.
Was that some of the most unbelievable stuff you've ever seen in your life?
The second time as a
Wait, the only time you've ever been mad?
No. I struck out 3 times, and I was not mad because he was better than me.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like that. He was throwing in the bullpen. He was throwing like 93, 94. Craig got up there with like 100. I went, whoa. Where did that extra 7 miles an hour come from?
Well, that and the Bugs Bunny curveball he had.
The curveball slide. He struck me. He threw me a 3-1 slider for a strike and hooked me 3-2, and I just walked back, put my bat down. Very nice. And I was number 21 standing on deck if Derek did miss the ball when Derek struck out.
Really?
Dude, it was crazy. I'm actually glad to be a part of it. It doesn't sound great, but I mean, if you're in a situation,
I'm having trouble believing you.
Nah, but when you're in a situation like that, when you see something like that,
you recognize greatness.
Yeah, that was
as good as that
great.
was.
Looking at the Cubs, 2000 Cubs.
I don't know what it was. That was Kerry Wood was 98.
Yeah.
But Zambrano was there. I think I don't know if it was because Zambrano pitched against us here, and so did Pryor. So it's 2000, 2001, somewhere around there.
So a couple of AL Cy Young Award winners in Kluber, Porcello, Keuchel. The Houston Astros staff makes up the right-hand side, and they've got Cy Young type numbers. How about the punch-outs? 15 better than Kluber back in 2017.
I mean, you brought up Cole. I mean, that's some easy 98.
Is that not the most relaxed delivery you've seen from a guy?
It's unbelievable. I mean, that's another thing that the organization and Jeff has done is to go out and get him and make a decision. I don't know anything. I have no inside information. You know, you talk about Darvish and then you talk about Garrett Cole. Well, I love seeing Garrett Cole with an Astros uniform on. Put it that way.
Do you still, when you watch these guys go out and pitch, do you still mentally in your head while you're watching them go about their business, maybe think about an approach? that you would have to take up there?
No, that's gone about 13, no, probably 15 years ago. Probably right around when I hurt my shoulder. No, I mean, yeah, I mean,
But you have an idea,
if I'm facing Lance,
if there was something to attack, you know,
right.
how would you go about
it? It was the same way. I mean, where do you not look for a fastball off of our guys?
Yeah.
Except maybe Dallas. You know, for me, facing Dallas is kind of like for me facing Tom Glavine.
Yep.
I know I'm probably not going to take him deep, so I'm just going to live with a single, you know, to right center and let everybody else do their job. Because you're just not going to do it that often.
That's why last night was so unusual with the 3 home runs against Dallas.
It really was.
Was it the 2002 group with Matt Clement as
Yes,
the...
you got it.
Okay.
Matt Clement.
So Clement,
Who threw from
Pryor,
over here too, yeah.
Pryor, Wood,
Zambrano.
They also had Beret in there and John Lieber.
Oh, Lieber. That was a... Why did you
Lieber,
have to
I couldn't
bring
get a
that
hit
up?
off that guy either.
That slider. God. You know what? KT, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, seriously, I was on that team. That was not fun.
Weird. Yeah,
Young Zambrano whipping 96 all over the place, and who knew where his slider was
he was the
coming
size
from.
of the backdrop. And could hit.
He could.
2-2 the count to Bruce Maxwell. And Lance gets the corner for a called third strike. He has ended all 3 innings with a strikeout. And that's all 3 of them tonight for Lance through the first time in the order. Perfect.
Us on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. You can vote there. Which aspect of Jeff Bagwell's career was the most underappreciated? Defense, on base ability, base running, or being a good teammate? Let us know what you think. We'll reveal the results later in the broadcast. Okay.
All right, Julia, send your votes to at ATT Sportsnet SW. 4-0 ball game. Yuli Gurriel leading off the bottom half of the 3rd inning against Daniel Mengden.
Baggy, you going to get on Twitter and vote in that?
Come on, man. You know I don't know anything about that. I don't even know how to turn my phone on barely. I give it to my daughters.
Good to know.
Yeah. No, I don't. My Twitter handle? This is a family show.
All right, last time Yuli was up before he hit a sac fly, you were starting to rave about the swing. What do you like about his swing?
His bat head stays on plane for a long, long time. And what I mean by that is it right from there, of course, it just rolled over right when I'm telling his bat was on plane. But when it starts, wherever it starts, it goes straight through the zone. There's no dip in his bat. It just stays through. Watch how it just stays right there, and then I was going to roll it over because I'm saying this.
Yeah, but still, it was a pitch down.
Yeah.
But you got the idea. You want that swing to kind of be extended through that zone.
Look at that pen. Nice job.
I got skills.
Yeah, you do. The pen I used to have in like 3rd grade.
Hey, easy. This is the best 4-color pen ever.
I'm new to this place.
Gosh, good to have you up here.
Yeah.
Plummer has
6 more innings of me. You get a month off.
Plummer has 1 pen with 4 colors, and I have 20
look at
pens.
that.
Yeah,
That's
so-
unbelievable.
He is the Miguel Tejada of pens. Miguel Tejada would carry 7 bats to the dugout.
He was. Let me tell you something. That's one guy I would have loved to play on his team.
He was amazing. He was a great teammate.
Oh my God, did he look fun?
Yeah.
Multi-pens,
Look at this.
one pen.
That's how we do it.
Baggy,
4 and
no
1.
pens.
I got
Do you need a pen?
I got no. I'm good.
You know what's
If you need
crazy
one, I
is
got
Baggy just has the lineup, and he could probably tell us everything that's happened in the game already. I have to write it down.
We have to keep our own.
Yes.
You guys are challenged. That's why you have that pen.
2-0 the count to Josh
Here we go. You guys wonder where I get it from.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, it's yours and Aus's fault.
I agree with Austin's point. You can't even say anything out of grammar. He's going to correct you.
That is true.
Josh Reddick, the batter, nobody on and 1 out. And there's a base hit in right field. Well, Reddick, who had a sac fly his first time up, now 1 for 1 as the Astros have another hit. They have 5 hits on the night against the A's starter.
Just for all you fans out here, in case you guys don't know about TK's father, one of the greatest voices of all time.
Thank you.
I very much enjoyed. I've had an opportunity to meet your father a bunch. Always came down to say hello when I was in Philly.
Yep.
Great man. I just want to say, you know, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, thank you.
You have the voice too, so I like that. You gotta have. I have more of a face for radio, but you have a good voice.
I appreciate it, Baggy. That's quite a compliment. You know, to even be in that same sentence with Dad. That was.
He's special.
Well, he definitely loved coming down and you know, visiting teams, hanging out, and getting to know the guys from the other side.
Great guy.
That was cool.
Listen, those are good memories. You know that you meet so many people in this game because of this game. That makes any sense.
Pitch in the dirt, and that's the Josh Reddick play right there.
Great.
You always were good at secondary leads. He seems to be one of the best on the team.
He really is. As a matter of fact, it's funny you say that because I said it to him when I saw him in the clubhouse today. I said, Josh, nice job with your base running. You know, because it is something that I do notice. He makes a big effort to go first to third all the time. Hustles. He's done great, man. I could not be more happy for him. He just, you know, he had his best year he's ever had last year. And is off to a great start again this year.
You know, we show that lead off first a lot of times on our graphics. It's 11, 12, 13, 14. But then that secondary lead allows him to get to second base.
Yeah, watch his double steps there. There it is right there.
And then that pitch wasn't that far away.
No, it doesn't have to be, really, because a catcher has to pick it up and then get his arm back to throw. It's not that easy. And sometimes you don't always do it because you can't really see how far it is away from the catcher or the angle or stuff like that. But if you're willing and to pay attention and to actually say, okay, I know this guy throws breaking balls. If the ball bounces, I got a chance to get to second base or third base. Just having that awareness. I mean, that's a play that, you know, now all of a sudden this opens up this side of the field over here for Alex. There's so many things that can happen here, and for him not being at first base and at second, it puts a little fear in the pitcher and the other team. You know, they don't need us to go up 5-0. Excuse me.
Try to hold up on that breaking ball in the dirt, and he does. 3-0.
Were you a guy when you were leading off at first base? Would you peek in to see if you could pick up the catcher's signs?
Every single time.
Yeah, I don't think that gets talked about enough. A lot of guys will get that lead, and you can look out of the corner of your eye and peek in there.
Yeah, and you do the same thing at second base. You know, a lot of these guys now throw those spike curveballs.
Yep.
You can see their fingers, so you know it's going to be a curveball. So they're probably either going to bounce it or it's going to be slower than a fastball, obviously. Perfect time to learn. So he doesn't want to swing at that pitch. That's 3-1. 3-0. You don't want that.
3-0 painted on the outside.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with it.
What are you looking for?
Maybe
something you
middle,
can pummel.
probably middle away.
But
Or
something
middle,
you can
yes.
absolutely destroy.
That one, you got to be too good.
Yeah.
Not 3-0.
Well, dare him to do it again, right? What are the chances he goes back out there and paints again?
What are the chances?
Not very good with this guy. Told you.
Reddick was on the move on the 3-1 pitch. Alex fouls it into his foot.
I'm ruining the broadcast now. I'm sorry, everybody.
Well, I'm just on my toes now.
I know. Plummy and I are going back to, we're going back to sitting in the dugout. I mean, the clubhouse after the game now. Just making fun of each other.
What I would love is we'd be sitting there after games watching some of the West Coast games, and somebody would do something great. Baggy just look at you and go, "The guy did that way better than you would do it."
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what? Or you go, you know what you do with that pitch, Blummy? Roll it over.
Classic.
There's a little chopper down the third, and everybody should be safe as Bregman beats the throw. Not hit hard. In fact, it was chopped right into the ground in front of home plate, and Bregman saved.
It looked like the ball had dirt on it as it was rolling.
It did, and no player does more. Brought to you by ATB. Talk about some of the base running. This was last night.
See, when you're getting down there and you see the first baseman coming off the base, the only place you can do is go down. That way he can't tag you. Then he doesn't worry about that he didn't get a hit, tags up on that, gets the second base, gives us a chance in a scoring position. Base hit to right, we score. That's how winning baseball teams do it, because you're not going to hit 3 or 4 home runs every single night. You got to do little things like that to be a great team, and that's why we have the ability and the mental capacity to do these kind of things. They think about it before it happens, and that's important.
And that ball to right wasn't an easy play to tag up on. The outfielder was pretty much in position on the warning track.
You know what? And that's just feel for the game. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in a game. You know, if you're around long enough, you can tell whether somebody gets jammed. You know, you can hear it. If you pay attention to where the outfielders are, especially in today's game, that you can see those kind of things. It's just about paying attention and being responsible when you're out there on the base pass to know where guys are, know the situation, know the score, those kind of things. And, you know, that's, like I said, we have fun and we do all this kind of stuff, but when you get between those lines, man, it's time to turn it on. This is what they pay you to do, and that's to win baseball games. And, you know, our guys do it better than others.
Well, and part of that knowledge also is understanding the arms that are out there. Piscotty's not a very good outfielder, but as soon as George saw him camped, he said, forget it, I'm going to go back and tag and go.
Exactly right. You got to know that. Gary Pettis goes over that with everybody before the game, and you know who can throw and who can't throw. I mean, there's certain guys, if you had, I don't know, who's got a great arm?
Raul Mondesi, Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, well, Vladimir, you know,
he may throw it in the seats.
That's the only thing, yeah. I might take a chance on that. Maybe not that close. but yeah, you do. And you know that. Going into the game, going into the series, you got to know. And Gary does a great job. Our coaching staff is awesome. I mean, they prepare these guys better than anybody I've ever seen. So that is never an excuse for these guys. After that, it's up to them to get it done. No, because, you know, I mean, AJ couldn't hit when he played anyway, so he can't do it anymore. He's just got to do it he's smarter than everybody.
Speaking of preparation and scouting reports, now you're Marwin Gonzalez. Obviously, he's a switch hitter, so he'll turn around here against the lefty. But how much knowledge did you have? Danny Coulombe's been back and forth. How much knowledge would you have about each bullpen guy coming out? And what?
TK, I absolutely lost my mind this spring training. We were playing somebody. I think it might have been I don't know who it was. Some kid was on the mound, and he blew his arm out and just basically walked off the mound.
Yeah, that was against the Nationals, yeah.
Yeah, and some kid came in from the bullpen, number 99.
Yep.
They had like a full-page thing on their tablet that they have in there.
Already.
I said, there's no way you guys know what this kid... It was like a full page. I'm
man,
like, this
is
crazy. I don't need to know this in spring training. I'm trying to get home. Leave me alone.
That's what you said to Pudge. Leave me alone in spring training. We don't need any pick throws. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. His splits on the season as a lefty and righty. Marwin with first and third, 1 out.
But this is something you'll see happen. They want to get matchups left on left sometimes, but they also want to flip that guy who switch hits from left to right-handed. They used to do this to me all the time.
Right, and I would do that to you too, since you couldn't hit right-handed. But
ever.
I know. That's what you were told that. But you could hit right-handed. But right now, Marwin, they're going to put him because what he does left-handed, you know, he's been great. He's worked very, very hard this year, especially in spring training on his right-handed swing. You know, his focus now is to get something up in the air. Obviously, on the ground is, you know, it's kind of tough. You know, Marwin runs okay, but not great. But so you're just trying to get something out over the plate to hit a fly ball to right center or drive it. I mean, you can do that.
Fastball, curveball, mostly to right-hand hitters from Coulombe. Fastball around 91. There it is, inside and almost hits Marwin. It's 2-0.
See, he's got to throw a strike right here because he's not going to be around a long time if he doesn't come into Marwin. So I don't know if he'll be nibbling here. So I'm looking something middle away here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Runner on third, elevate to the outfield, drive that thing. Reddick runs well.
It's very easy from up here. I'll be panicking right now.
But your mindset is drive the ball in the air.
Yep. It's a right center. If he throws a breaking ball, he can pull that up in the air.
Pulls one up in the air to left field. This should be deep enough to score. Reddick tagging and heading home is Josh. Heading to second is Bregman.
That's what I'm talking about, boys, right there. That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about the advancement to second.
Why is the left fielder throwing it in?
You got it, Blummy. There's no reason for him to be throwing it there. He needs to be throwing it to second base.
But that goes to your point. If you anticipate tagging up and get out there and recognize the guy makes a bad decision trying to throw home, on a play where you're not going to have any
Where are you going to get Reddick out? If you know you have a bad arm, or not a bad arm, sorry, but not that good. That's Bo Jackson type stuff right there.
He's on the warning track.
Chance,
There's no chance. But that's an easy read. As soon as you see the throw going into third base, take off to second, advance 90 feet.
That's having the awareness. That's why I keep telling you guys, Bregman is a baseball player. And so are all the other guys. But it's not like they don't work at this stuff. They do it all the time. And Joe and AJ and AC, they're on these guys all the time about this stuff.
And honoring that 90 feet can be the difference between a playoff team and a non-playoff team.
Are you kidding me? You know, people always talk about, well, it's not a big game, it's April. Well, I've played on probably 2 to 3 teams that we've had to win the last game. What if we won a game in April where we didn't have to win? You know, you keep, like I said, we keep going back to the, 20 games up in June or whatever it was. I mean, you got to get every win you can because you don't know down the stretch if that can help you. I don't want to play for the last day of the season where I could have won 2 games maybe in April and May.
We had that in 02 or 03.
Yeah.
That was not fun. And I've done that a couple times with the Padres. We played game 163 because, and who knows, you could go back to April like you're talking about and maybe had that subpar month where a game got away from you that you took for granted.
I mean, this is what they pay us to do, is to go out here and just pay attention. Know what's going on.
Bregman off on the swing by McCann, and Alex is out at third base for the final out of the inning. Alex trying to steal third. We can come back and discuss that play after this inning. Alex wants him to check it, but I think he is out. AJ giving a quick check of the video here. Alex tried to steal third earlier with 2 outs.
Yeah,
it's a good thing the camera wasn't on in the booth when that happened.
And I've just been saying such good things about him. And he got thrown out with a lefty up.
This is a tough job up here too sometimes.
I gotta go. I gotta leave. Good seeing you guys. I'm leaving.
End of the third.
Coming week, tickets are still available for games this Monday through Thursday. Visit Astros.com for tickets and info. Big ALCS matchup right here at Minute Maid Park all over again. They've changed a little bit.
They're playing really well right now. They have won 7 straight. And they are out in Anaheim right now, wrapping up a weekend series tomorrow before heading to Houston. Matt Joyce will lead off the 4th inning. Yankees now trail Boston by 2.5 in the American League East. Red Sox the only team with a better record coming in than the Astros in terms of number of wins. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Jeff Bagwell in the broadcast booth tonight. We were talking about Bregman trying to steal second. He did that his first time with Marwin Gonzalez at the plate in 2 outs, and he did it again there with Brian McCann with 2 outs. And for you, you said if there's a pitcher that's maybe going to bounce one of the dirt, then getting to third with 2 outs.
I'm going to try and make this as nice as I can for Bregman's sake. Because I would be grabbing him by the ear if I was in the dugout. But his thinking is, if I get to third base, he's a guy that throws a big curveball and can bounce it. I can score a run that way. The problem is you have to be safe at third base. And you just have to be safe. And especially a left-handed hitter, he's looking straight down at third base. So probably something that Alex would probably say that he shouldn't have done. But that's, he's a good kid. He's, those things happen every once in a while. But I'm trying to dig him out of this hole that I put him in after I told him how great he was.
But that's the best thing for a baseball guy and a gamer like him. He would probably appreciate that. And you had a bunch of those guys when you guys were all together.
Yeah. Well, and Alex has proven that he's a guy that can learn. He can be out there and experience something, have it not work, and learn from it, and not make the same mistake twice.
Well, that's why he was calling for a review, because he was so embarrassed that he did that. He was thrown out by 3 steps. But he
really wanted to drive the point home that he was out by a lot.
Yeah, so that just compounds everything. But he is the kind of kid that he knew by the time that he tagged him, like, what am I doing? But I guess you can make those mistakes up 5-0. But in this game today, man, you got to use every single run you can get.
But and going back to AJ allows these guys to make aggressive mistakes. He'll get a talking to, but AJ will do it in a way where he learns from it.
Well, what you would do and what AJ will do is go, what are you thinking there, bro? What you got for me? And you know what he's going to say? I messed up.
Yeah. Well, it's better to say you messed up and move on.
Risk reward too with 2 outs. What you're risking something that maybe.
Well, because you're in scoring position anyway.
Right. With 2 outs, you're going to go off contact. And getting over there with 1 out's a little different, but 2 outs, you're not getting that much of an advantage.
You're right. And Alex can run well enough. He's going to score on a base hit. But AJ in the stat. Oh my gosh.
I'll let you guys comment on this play.
I don't think I've ever seen it that bad. That was in between his hands.
You guys said that on cue.
Ty Cobb, split grip.
This is all up in the kitchen. That's that 2-seam running fastball.
That's what I'm talking about, people. He trying to hit that thing. He is lucky. Oh, my. Look, he got shot.
Jeez.
That's not right. On national TV.
We're not quite national yet.
Yeah, whatever. I feel like it.
We're regional.
I'll be back.
This is like you and Blummer hanging out in the dugout.
Yeah, this is bad.
2 outs, nobody on, and Jed Lowry the batter, and he takes a called strike.
That's not right. Oops. I gotta go.
We've lost Blummer momentarily. Meanwhile, Lance is off and racing just like Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander and Dallas Keuchel were the last time
You
around.
got me with that one. All of a sudden, it was 2002 all over again.
I hope his family was watching. I'd explain that. I gotta go. I think I gotta.
It's
only been 4 innings.
No, don't go anywhere. We're enjoying ourselves. It's 2-1 and it's 5-0 in favor of the Astros. 2-1 to Lowry.
You gotta. I don't care if he's gotta laugh at that. Even when he gets back in the dugout, somebody's gotta.
No, you got to go to the
Rafael
video.
Ramirez, jam. That's big league jam right there.
Well, talking about Miguel Tejada again, he would have looked up and go, oh, he dead.
Yeah. You got to see, as much as it's unprofessional for me to be laughing like this, but that's part of the game. You got to laugh at yourself. You can't laugh at yourself, man. You got no chance in this game. It's too hard, and that is funny. Nobody got hurt, so it's
bruised ego.
Lance has ended all 4 innings with a strikeout. He is cruising along through 3.5. It is 5-0 Astros.
Park for Kroger Family Sundays. Special Kroger Family 4-packs are available starting at only $60, including tomorrow's Astros-A's game. Visit astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
5-0 game, bottom half of the fourth inning. Astros have scored in every inning so far, and Lance McCullers Jr. has looked outstanding against the A's as we head to the bottom half of the fourth. Brian McCann with a clean slate after batting in the last inning while Alex Bregman was thrown out to end the inning. Brian takes a called strike. Brian popped up his first time up.
This is one of the good dudes in the game. He's such a nice guy. He's a great teammate.
Can't really quantify what he meant to the pitching staff last year.
You can't, TK. He's special. How many times have I said special tonight? But he really
easy to do with this team, though.
He is. There's something about him. Every time you see him, he's just got a smile on his face. He's working hard at whatever he's trying to do, whether it's talking to the pitchers or whether he's working on his hack. He's a great teammate. You can see it. You can see how much the boys love him.
Can early this season off to a nice start. He's hit well against lefties also, facing a lefty here, Danny Coulomb, down to the count 1-2. McCann, Derek Fisher, and then back to the top of the order with George Springer. We mentioned this rotation and what they have done already this year. This is already in this homestand, and we're only 5 games into the homestand, as the Angels were in for 3, and now this is the second game of 3 against the A's. So 5 games in as McCann drills one to center field and keeps raking against the lefties. Brian McCann, a leadoff base runner in the bottom half of the fourth inning. But 4 times so far of this 5-game homestand, the starting pitcher for the Astros has not allowed a runner heading into the 5th inning.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is what we bring every single night. I mean, there's no let up at all. And then as your opposing team, you're like, okay, we're not going to score any runs, and they haven't scored any runs in a while. They're going to kill us at some point. And that's what we have, and we're not a one-dimensional team. We got the whole thing. We got defense, we got pitching, we got hitting, we got power, we got speed. I mean, we are World Series champions.
And that's why Dallas Keuchel called last night one of his most frustrating starts of his career, because he felt like he had great stuff early.
Yeah, but that's also the healthy competition they have. Nobody wants to let anybody else down. I think you see staffs like that throughout the years that, they feed off each other. And especially when, we're not scoring runs, the pitcher has a lot of responsibility. It takes, because they're the ones that are judged by it with their wins and losses a lot of times. And, but, it's just part of the game. And there's nothing you can turn on. And that's the funny thing is this is one game that you cannot just turn on and off. You can't just say, oh, it's the World Series. Let me just start hitting now. It doesn't work like that because the pitcher has the ball in his hands. It's not like basketball where LeBron can take the ball down the court by himself or MJ takes the ball out of bounds. You don't have that. You have a pitcher on the mound and 7 guys in front of you. Excuse me, 8. So you can do everything right and still make outs. You can make a great pitch and somebody hit a home run. It's just you really just never know.
Well, that's one thing this team did great was picking each other up.
Look at the bottom of our order last year.
It was pretty, yeah. It was outstanding.
That was ridiculous.
Even tonight, the bottom 3 is Marwin, Brian McCann, and although Derek hasn't hit where he wants to yet this season, he hit one about 430 against Shohei Ohtani.
Yes, he did.
Now he's ahead of the count 3-0.
And you need that. You need a lineup that's stretched out, and that's what we have.
Strike at the knees at 3-1. And they turn themselves over. They get to that bottom, then turn it over to the top, and that was what they did so well last year.
The great lineups that I've played in, you might get us out the first time around, maybe the second, but we're going to get you at some point. And that was always our belief. And it wasn't me, it would be somebody else. It would be, Lance or JK or whoever else, Moises, whoever it was. That's what, we always had that confidence.
That ball's drilled to right field, and that is gone. Derek Fisher hits his second home run of the season, and the Astros are out 7-0.
Baggy, you know what?
Yeah.
I think that's going to have a high exit velo.
I think it is too. It'd be the same thing if it went. Never mind. I'll just let you talk about the exit velo.
Well, it's
Whatever it takes to get over the wall is the velo.
Exactly. It's not exactly a high launch angle, but it was a hanging slider. And what happened was he's ready for the fastball. The hands are back, ready, loaded. He gets a hanging slider from a lefty.
Obviously, you want me
and
around
then hammered it.
Oh, my God. You're exactly right.
No, but it's getting the hands ready.
That's what you – exactly right.
Yeah.
All the mechanics, all the things you work on comes together, and that's what happens.
Scorched won the right.
That was. Good swing.
7-0 lead after the 2-run home run. Pitching change. Back with more after this. Houston Astros and Baseball Tomorrow Fund and their support of local youth baseball and softball programs. Donation boxes will be available at Minute Maid Park gates tomorrow before the Astros take on the A's. Here's what we could use. New and used equipment accepted. For tickets to Sunday's game, visit Astros.com. That is Baseball Tomorrow Drive for tomorrow's game. George Springer, the batter. Lou Trevino is the new pitcher for the A's.
Kid throws hard, 97 miles an hour. He's averaging on the fastball. Also has a changeup, curve, and cutter.
George gets under one. Piscotti on the warning track in the corner makes the play. Let's look at it. Derek Fisher's home run with StatCast.
That was a seed going over that right field wall. Crushed, low launch angle. In order to get a low launch angle over that fence, you got to crush it. He did. Barreled up a hanging slider, came in at 86 miles an hour, left at 107.
Stop looking at me while you're saying that.
You love it.
It was a homer, nice homer.
I'll tell you what,
You tell me.
you're in the Hall of Fame for driving the ball out of the ballpark and driving runners in. You were just as happy. There goes the 5 for 5.
Still got 4 more.
Well, it could be plenty of the way these guys are swinging tonight. But you were just as happy if you hit it into the upper deck in Pittsburgh, or if it scraped the wall coming down.
I could care less. All counts the same.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the bottom line for me. As I said earlier, I mean, this is a game of, okay, that's great. I mean, when you talk about like arbitration guys, hey, well, I had a great exit velocity year. Really? What'd you hit? 220.
What was I say? You could be a high exit velocity guy and drive in 54.
I'm not trying to discount it, but I'm about results.
Yep.
And it counts the same to me, and so does any base hit. I don't care how hard I hit it. I like it, like we talked about. I like it for the fans. I'm interested to hear that kind of stuff.
It tells a story.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's fair, and I'm cool with that. But you can't, I don't know how that helps the hitter later. Because, I mean, I just don't know how you practice that.
Yeah.
It's more results driven.
Yeah.
And to your point with Gurriel, because you love his swing, but most people wouldn't guess that of all the good hitters on this 2017 team last year that he had the highest exit velocity on average.
But the only thing is, TK, and you know this because you guys covered him all. I mean, he nonstop hits line drives. So it has to be good at something, you know what I mean?
He's a guy that you have to see over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, would Barrel okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. So would a high exit velocity explain to you that a guy is getting the barrel to the baseball more consistently than somebody else? Is that a way to translate it?
No. The only reason I say that is because I don't care how you get the barrel there. If you get it there with the same amount, the thing what Uri does is his bat plane gives him more of a chance to be late or early. Probably late more. Lance Berkman was the same way. His bat head, he could be late like
and that
crazy.
Margin of error
and hit some stuff over that guard.
It really could.
Yeah, and that's what Uri has. Mine was different. Mine was in the zone, out of the zone, real quick.
That's how I was too. I wasn't a big guy that was in the zone. It was more like a V. It would get to contact and come right out.
And you know, and that's the thing. This is why hitting. You know, we talk about all these things, and you know, I'm questioning things, and I like to learn because I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, if I do everything,
that's the beauty of baseball too. Is you got to have the conversation,
right? And I'm cool with that. And what we are results oriented, and how do we get better? That's what we're trying to do always, because there's nobody that's ever done it perfectly. If there was a way to do everything perfectly, there'd be every single person be in that box swinging the same way.
Well, to your point, what are you going to get paid for? Exit velo or RBIs?
Come on, man.
Yep.
Well, Carlos Correa's had the RBIs working this year.
Yes.
20 of them so far. Tonight he is 0 for 1 with a walk and run scored. Carlos riding an 11-game hitting streak. 2 outs, nobody on. And the fouls went out of play.
Carlos is another guy that keeps the bat in the zone a long time. That's why sometimes you see Carlos swing, and he looks like he's looking out towards the umpire there at second base, and the ball's shooting down the right field line. That can't be done unless your bat head is in the zone for a long time. I don't know if that makes sense to
No,
anybody.
it does. And he uses right field as well as anybody we've seen in this lineup.
And I guess you could practice that. I mean, all I know is for the last 5 or 6 years of my career, I try to get rid of my hitch in my swing and try to sit there and tell myself in the cage and stuff, keep your hands here, keep your hands here. As soon as I walked into the batter's box, it was the same junk that I was taking up there for the last 7 years beforehand.
Yeah, but that has a lot to do with it as far as the rhythm and getting those hands going.
You have to have something to get them going.
Yep.
Right. Bregman has a little thing up here. You know, everybody's different.
Correa goes down swinging. Trevino comes in and gets 3 outs. It's 7-0 Astros after 4.
Not bad seats up there.
What a night to be up there.
Absolutely. This week has been great. Weather's been good. Baseball's been okay. Looking good tonight, though.
Sure is.
That is a cool view from up top overlooking Minute Maid Park. They've seen a lot of Astros highlights so far tonight. It's 7-0 as we head to the 5th.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on today.
Lance.
We're only in the 5th.
Lance dealing just like Dallas Keuchel was through 4 yesterday. Dallas got there in 46 pitches. Lance has had 61 pitches through 4 as he delivers to Chris Davis to start the 5th. Astros with the shift with Davis up there, 3 on the left side of the infield. Now it's 2-0. You hit exactly 303 in this stadium and the Astrodome.
Really?
That's pretty cool. You hit the exact same number in both of your home stadiums. Here's a ball in the center field. George goes back on it, still drifting back, turns around and makes the play.
It's amazing. He just keeps going.
Never comes down.
It's like playing in Colorado.
So the ball off Chris Davis's bat carries more than most.
Yeah, tell me why. I don't know. I mean, he stands pretty straight up and down, so it doesn't look like he's totally using his. He steps in the bucket a little bit.
Well, I feel like sometimes he really gets in the bucket, but I wonder if that's just a clear room for the hands to get through.
I think it is, and his shoulders. His shoulders stay square. His body doesn't.
Yeah, the lower half kind of opens up a little bit.
I don't know, man. What do you had? 40 home runs 2 years in a row?
43 and 42 the last 2 years. Wow. More home runs than anybody else since the start of 2016.
See, this is where Lance right now needs to just go and bury these guys.
With
his heater. Just come right here. You go.
He's thrown more fastballs than curveballs tonight.
I love it.
And he's mixed in the changeup.
Well, if he can get that, he's going to continue to throw that.
So forget what I say. Guessing that bad, yeah.
0-2 the count on.
Let's be honest, man. I mean, he just got great stuff. I mean, he's got no-hit stuff every time he takes it out there.
Oh, you could pretty much say that about all five, right?
Yes.
That's what we were talking about the other night.
Exactly. That's why nobody in the world should be panicking all about our ball club, because this pitching travels.
Yeah, this five is
our offense is going to be
pretty special.
They are. I've never seen five guys like this.
Best you've seen?
I think so. All five.
I don't remember seeing this myself, just where there's no drop off.
I mean, you can see 3 or 4, 3.
Right. 3 or 4, and then you have a little bit of a drop off from 4 to 5, but you don't see any drop off here. 27 games in. And right out the gate, we talked to you about 97, 98, 99, then you guys wanted to get an 01. You have a target on your back now as the defending world champions, and the Astros have done better than some recent teams the first 27 games.
They have, but go ahead, man.
Well, do you believe in the hangover after winning a World Series like some of these teams have? Sometimes you see those records kind of flatten out where the guys are just
I don't believe that. I believe, I mean, what do we get? They got what? They had all of November, December, January, February. You don't start the season till the end of March. You got plenty of time. You're going to do all these things. You're going to go to, Jimmy Fallon or SNL. And I mean, those are fun things, man. But that doesn't take away from your preparation. These kids are hungry. I never ever thought that when I talked to these guys in the off season, when I saw them in spring training, they want more, man. Who doesn't want to have that? I mean, I'm sitting here with 15 years in the big leagues, and I want what they had. I mean, you can say all you want to. Oh, Hall of Fame, all this. I don't care. I mean, what they did last year, I was so jealous and happy at the same time, because I would have loved to have been on that field when that happened. But I was ecstatic for the city, and I was ecstatic for these players.
Last team to repeat was the Yankees, 98, 99, 2000. They came out pretty strong.
Well, let's look at those numbers and look at ours. They won 3 of them.
pretty similar.
Just saying.
And their team stayed intact. They had those guys locked up for a while.
That's what I'm saying.
And what's amazing to me is that the Astros actually went out this offseason and got better by adding a guy like Garrett Cole.
It's unbelievable.
Because it made your rotation deep, and it also made your bullpen a little bit deeper, too.
And you know what? As a player, and you see what they've done when they went out and got Justin, and then they go out and get – they're not settling. They go out and get Garrett. I mean, man, they're like, come on, man. We want to be that Yankee team 3 years in a row.
Yep.
Just keep this train rolling. And as a player, man, you get that. You're like, man, our organization, man, not just like, oh, we got it. No, let's keep going.
Well, I think it's also the recognition on ownership's part, understanding that window they have right now with the talent they have, this is now, and you got to go do it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I mean, you keep your players that you can keep and all that. You can't – that's a total off-season thing, and you can't worry about that. But when these guys take the field every single night, they compete, they want to win, and they want to do the same thing they did last year.
And what else is interesting to me is that you and Biz played here for how many years?
Too long.
No, seriously, though.
I played 15 with Craig, played 20, I think.
Played 20 with the Houston Astros, and they lock up Jose Altuve for 7 more. Yeah. That's great to see for me, because that creates legacy.
It does, man, and it's great for the city. They can grasp onto this. You can grasp onto Jose Altuve. The next guy that signs, they can grasp onto that, and the team that they have right now in front of them, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Nice play by Carlos Correa to end the 5th. Lance is cruising. on AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Volkswagen. Bottom half of the 5th inning. It has been all Astros tonight. 3 in the first, 1 more in the second, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fourth. 7-0 Houston. The A's going to their 4th pitcher of the evening, as Yuli Gurriel will start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Chris Hatcher on to pitch for the A's.
Liking the aggressiveness of the Astros right now, hunting that fastball early on. I think the A's pitchers are trying to get ahead even with this big lead, but I like the fact that they're going out trying to get theirs. I talk about it all the time. You got to be greedy in this game because, like Baggy said, this game's hard. You get a couple of knocks, go for that third one. You get man.
Get all you can.
4.
Bat goes into the screen as the foul ball comes into the upper deck.
Were you a pine tar or that Manny Mota stick?
No, I didn't know how to use the Manny Mota. I knew Manny Mota, but I didn't know anything about the stick.
You played against Manny Mota?
No, I didn't. I just seen him
okay.
riding around on a bicycle in Dodgertown. It's a true story. No, I used pine tar. I stole it from Craig.
You were able to get the pine tar away from him?
I took it. He needs some right now, yeah.
There you go. He didn't go to the pine tar after throwing the bat, but after that foul ball. After the foul ball, he's like, I guess I need to get a little.
That's that stick. I don't even know what it's made out of. Probably some carcinogen that's blowing a hole in the ozone layer, but keeps your hands on the bat, and that's all that matters.
Don't start. Don't start. There'll be people picking it outside tomorrow to say that. No more Mota.
I don't want to do that.
No.
I never knew that. That was the Manny Mota stick?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't know if it still is, but it was a Manny Mota stick. It was crazy.
He's got to pay licensing for that now.
Yep.
So he's not doing that.
It's all right. I get it. I get a 10% for saying it.
Exactly.
Yuli trying to break an 0 for 9. He doesn't have a sacrifice fly tonight. Really missed the first couple of weeks of the season. And he drills that one to left center field. Pretty well hit. Can't on the move, though, and gets there right in the edge of the warning track. Yuli's hitting some bad luck lately.
He really has, and Canna's actually playing a pretty good center field. We talked about it yesterday, how he hadn't played in center field in spring training, but they need him out there.
Watch this. Watch his hands right there. See how he takes his hands straight inside? Watch. Here comes the barrel. I mean, that's just, he had, I think his hands were split right there, too. But see, that's what Yuri can do because his bat head he can hit that kind of ball. I mean, I had no chance to hit a ball that high like that.
You weren't set up for that, though.
No.
You were down on your legs, using the leverage.
But that is awesome to have what Yuri has, because there's so much room for error there.
Pitch to Reddick is down and inside.
I mean, Yuri's another guy. I mean, Yuli. Sorry, I said Yuri. Yuli's another guy that, you know, we picked up. I mean, what is he like? 49, 50 years old? Yuli?
Where?
I don't know. Somewhere between
here
in Cuba.
Here, I think he's 35.
But I mean, we got him. I don't know anything. I've never heard of him. I mean, he's great.
He is phenomenal.
And he's entertaining too with that hair. Are you kidding me?
No, he is a great dude.
Reddick sends one into left, where Matt Joyce waits for it for out number 2.
Oh my God! The clown show, guys, will be over in about 3-4 innings. I'll get out of here.
No, are you kidding me?
No, the feedback has been great. The insight has been even better.
Lance is dealing, and it's 7-0.
Yeah,
people are going to say you can't leave.
No.
Are you kidding? There's Alex Bregman. A's haven't had a clean inning all night. Astros scoring a run in every inning. Alex batting with 2 outs and nobody on. He has a double and a single so far tonight.
But I also think what's great about, sorry TK, get excited. I think what also is great about having Baggy up here is you get everybody at home is now having the opportunity to hear your conversations. These are conversations that I remember when I got traded over in 2002. And it's how you become a better ball player is by being around other great ball players and learning from them. But it's the conversations, it's the interaction, it's trying to understand what you did and how it translates, because I believe a lot of these guys that I think are good hitters, you feel the same way, and we kind of have that similar mentalities as far as.
Well, here's the other thing, like guys like us and, you know, guys that have played the game. You get Craig walking around here, obviously 3,000 hits in the Hall of Fame. I give more back to guys from my failures to say, this is what I thought. And they go, really? You actually felt like that? There's no way you felt like that. I'm like, dude, man, I was struggling. I did anything I could to get a hit. I don't care if it split my hands like Simeon's did. I got a knock out of that thing. I'll take whatever I can get. But, man, it's the struggle out there. And I think when guys hear that kind of stuff, to hear that you went through the same things, and then they look at your career and go, wow, man, I can't believe he was like that. You know, and you sat next to me in the clubhouse or in the dugout, or we were on team flights. Those are the special moments. That's what I miss about the game. I miss this stuff with you guys, sitting around here watching baseball, talking about stuff. The interaction with teammates, ex-teammates, anybody. It's just fun, man. It gets my juices going. I start to, I enjoy it. Because I know how hard this is.
And it's just been in the last couple of years, like around that 2015-16 time when you started, actually, we exchanged numbers, got back in touch, and the text started to pick up. It was because of this team that we're seeing out here 100%. Right now.
You know, I almost feel bad about that because, I had stuff to do in my personal life and get myself together. But this team, since 2015, it's great. And just the character that this team has, individually and as a team, is something that I enjoy being around. And, I'm proud to be a Houston Astro, and I love being a Houston Astro. And I like to maintain watching this club and this city grow and to continue what we have here now. And any way that I can help and bring back and help the kids or do whatever in the city, I think it's something that I owe to the city and I owe to the ball club.
And you realize how special it was for this group to not only win one, but to be poised for a nice run, because you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. And we talked about earlier about all the guys that, Jeff has picked up around the way. Then you get Verlander, and then you have him for 2 more years. I mean, as a player, all we ever do down there is want. No, let's get that guy. Let's get. Oh, no, I don't care if he's making $40 million. Oh, no, I don't care if he's making $25 million. We don't care. We just want guys.
Yeah, these are the conversations in the club.
Right, that's what we think about. Oh, I can't believe they didn't pick up anybody. And, but bottom line is, being on this side now, I get it. I understand the things that go on. You still want it, and as a fan, every fan wants. I want the best of the best. But to put what they've done for a longevity of this team. To have Verlander for another 2 years, to have all these guys kind of set up and how they're going to go down, whether it's arbitration, free agency, and all that kind of stuff, to lock up a Jose Altuve, who means so much to this city. And he just brings joy. In a time when we needed joy, this club did it. Jim, with what he did and saying okay with Verlander, to go out and get guys this offseason to make us better. That is something, man, that these kids, man, they see it and they feel it. Like, hey, man, our organization's got our back. It's not like, oh, okay, we won a World Series, that's it. We'll shovel some guys off and make some money. Man, they just want to keep going after this thing.
Well, it's interesting you say that with the Oakland A's in town because they nurture youth, trade it off for more youth. Yeah, what does it say to free agents when they're on the outside watching what the Astros are doing? It's got to be kind of appealing knowing that if you play well enough, they want you to stay around.
Yes, and, this has become a destination for players that want it. There's a reason why Justin came here. He had to make a decision late, what was the best thing. And if you watch us play, you want to be a part of something like that. And guys in free agencies, man, they've always wanted to play with the Houston Astros. This city, what they do now and what they've been for a long time is come out and watch our guys play and be passionate about the team. This is a place where people want to play. In the Oakland situation, man, that's a tough situation for them. They don't have the right ballpark, and, that's all part of it. It's hard for the fans to understand all that kind of stuff, but, it is a business, and guys aren't in the way of losing money. But this organization, man, Jim has just done a special job, man. And, the thing about Jim, what he did with the rings, all the rings he gave out, Willie Berry comes to me, he's the groundskeeper that we've had when he was at the Astrodome and stuff like that for 47 years with the organization getting the, that is class, man. That's stuff that you want to be around. And so I could not be more proud of the Astros. I could not be more proud of this team. And put it this way, I'm an old, broken-down baseball player, and I still have passion for baseball, and I have passion for this team. It's because of this team that has kind of rejuvenated myself.
I think it's been pretty impressive to be around the city and see the amount of orange and blue.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What a perfect color to have. You know, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got spoiled. You know, I saw Craig when Craig went into the Hall of Fame, and I remember walking down the street in Cooperstown and turning around and seeing all that orange. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, because we stand out.
It is highly recognizable.
And as you guys know, when you guys travel on the road, man, the Astros, the colors are out in different ballparks.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
It's fun to watch. I was watching a Cub game before I got here today, and I saw some dude in the stands with an Astro hat, and I was just smiling. Yeah, I swear. I was like, that's cool, man.
Another sellout tonight. They're averaging about 5,000 or 6,000 more per game than they did even last year. This town is on fire for the
really
Astros.
is. And don't to mention the Rockets, too.
Yep.
I mean, this is fun, man. And we needed that after last year. I don't think the rest of the United States really understands how massive a destruction that what happened to us last year. They can see some pictures on TV and stuff like that, but
until you're in it, yeah, you're right.
Golly. But you know, this is something the Astros brought a lot of good things to the city, a little bit of hope, a little bit of taking their mind off of things. You know, the Rockets are doing great things right now, and you know, it'd be nice if we could back it up and then have them win one too. Would be something else.
2 walks and a 3-1 count to McCann, and now 3 straight walks from Chris Hatcher.
Keyhole.
He hadn't walked anybody all year before tonight. Derek Fisher, when he hit a home run, let's see who caught this ball on the line drive over the wall in right field in Fisher's last AB.
Better have a glove on out there. That ball was coming in hot.
Oh, I got out.
Bagwell fan.
Baggy jersey. Of course.
You must have found that somewhere.
No, I think you paid him off.
I did. Stand right here. Something coming at 107 miles per hour is going to come at you. Velo.
So in this inning, Hatcher had
nice. Oh, sorry. I'm watching Jeff Blummy's Instagram.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter put Yuli's hair on Baggy, and it is delicious.
I would give anything for that. I'd be rocking that everywhere.
You wouldn't even wear a hat at first base if you had that.
No. Visor.
Visor, that'd be spectacular.
After 2 outs, the bases were empty. Walks to Bregman, Marwin, and Brian McCann, and now Derek Fisher bats with the bases loaded.
Well, this is what we're starting to see, guys. This kind of stuff that we saw all last year. Okay, we got 2 outs. Well, all of a sudden we got bases loaded.
Because you're not leaving the zone.
And what you said earlier about turning the lineup over, we'll just keep turning it over. And when you keep turning the lineup over with this kind of ability, good luck.
Fisher already has a 2-run home run. He's walked, scored a couple of runs, and driven in a couple of runs.
And I think it's important we go back a little bit to what we talked about. I mean, we're 17 and 10. Is that right?
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. That's how spoiled we are.
Like, right, man, we're struggling. Above 500.
We're struggling. I mean, we're not even coming close to playing. I mean, our pitching staff, like I said, it travels. Yeah. This offense will be fun.
How amazing. Just a couple of clutch hits here or there. That 17 turns into a 25.
Exactly.
Something amazing.
Best start ever is 18-9 after 27 games, so they're only 1 off of that. That was last year in 2015.
It's good to be spoiled.
There's a strike called. It's 1-2. Fisher batting for the 3rd time in this game as the number 9 hitter. We're in the 5th inning. Lance has had a lot of time in between innings.
You know what else is great too is, I mean, these kids, how great they are now. There is a lot of room for improvement. And that's hard to say, but I'm telling you, man, if these guys figure it out, these young dudes, wow.
Well, you got a kid down in the minor leagues that led all of baseball in RBIs in spring training. He's 21 years old.
Never heard of him.
Ted.
I've heard of Ted Williams, not Ted Tucker. I will not call him Ted.
But that's just the respect you have for the game and for Ted Williams.
Exactly right. There's only one Ted.
And Ted was pretty darn good.
Yeah, 344 career lifetime.
Is that okay?
It's all right.
What was his exit velo?
He didn't care. They stuck the entire field over in right field. He still hit it over their heads or through.
Well, that's how he combated it. He didn't turn around, square around to bunt. He just said, I'll hit it over their heads.
You have a conversation with him about hitting?
I did, a couple times.
Was that 98 or 99 when you had that, the All-Star game?
That was 99. I didn't talk to him then.
Okay.
I talked to him at his museum in 94. Probably the greatest thing with my dad, he's had quadruple bypass, but I think he was going to have one beforehand. When I was in Boston playing for them, I was in spring training with the Red Sox. I had Carter Yastrzemski behind the cage and Ted Williams behind the cage watching me hit.
Wow. No pressure.
No, I couldn't breathe. My dad was passing out. I mean, Carter Yastrzemski's my favorite player. Ted Williams was my father, so neat stuff. But
awesome.
I had no idea that ever happened. That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. Ted loved hitting, man.
Oh,
shoot. We talk about that anytime we did that and fishing.
Called third strike inside corner. Pitcher goes down looking and leaves the bases loaded. We are through 5 in a 7-0 game.
T-Mobile and George Springer unloading in that playoff game. World Series game, I apologize, much better deal, but Springer all over the place. He is built to play. He's built to play hard. He's developed the nickname Superman or Super Springer, whichever one you want to call him, but there are plenty of Springer dingers in that World Series performance, earning himself that World Series MVP. And oh, by the way, we've seen a couple of great catches. He's one of the few freaks in all of baseball who is hyper athletic, moving all over the field, doing it on both sides of the baseball. A lot of fun to watch, and I know he's got one big fan other than me up here in the booth.
Yeah, George, I can't even tell you how much ability he has. There is not one ballpark in America that can hold him. He's a great kid. He works hard. He's a good kid, and he wants to get better. He plays great defense. He did that stuff last night that shows you he's in the game. You know, if he was our first hit for them.
Yeah, first hit of the game for the A's. First base runner of the game for Oakland. Comes in the 6th inning. Lance was perfect through 5 and gets a nice hand from the crowd.
Nice try. He gets double play. No, I think George, his scale of 1 to 10, man, you know, he's probably at a 6 compared to what he can be. I just think he can get so much better once he starts figuring himself out a little bit, just understanding how much talent I mean, he's trying to get a guy over in the World Series twice. He fouled one off. The next time he tried to get him over, and he hit a home run to right center in Dodger Stadium that night. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, I want people at home to understand that you saying that George is a 6 right now is not a knock against the guy. No. It's because the potential is so high.
Yeah, it really is.
Because there are times that we have seen him overwhelm the game with his athleticism and ability.
But you saw for 6 games in the World Series.
Yeah, and then you add the knowledge to it and the ability. That's where you pick up those extra 4 points and it becomes a 10.
I mean, I think I don't know how the game's the game is slowed down as far as stealing bases, but George could steal you 20, 30 bases
easily. I believe that too.
Carlos could do the same thing. But it's not a big a part of the game as it used to be. But the ability is there to do it, and if he had to do it, which you might in a 1-1 ball game or something like that.
Well, do you think it has anything to do with the guys that are hitting behind him that are able to drive him in from first base?
Yeah.
If he's not comfortable to get that bag, just hang out and sprint around the bases?
Yes, I think so. I think, the analytic part is you don't want to give up an out if there is a chance that could be an out, and then next thing you know, Correa could hit a homer or something like that, or a double. And that's fine.
A little softly hit ground ball into right field for a base hit off the bat of Piscotty. So after retiring the first 15 back-to-back hits for the A's, Cannon a little ground ball on the right side.
What I would like to see is for him to work, him and Carlos to work on stealing bases, and that's just by how you run. Those two guys, when they run, they kind of stand up a little bit. That loses you half a step. So that if we do get into a game in the 7th inning, the 8th inning, 2 outs, and he's on first base, he could take a chance to steal a base.
Springer.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to steal 30, 40, 50 bases, like Altuve used to. He still steals 30. But, just to have that ability that they have to think about that kind of stuff, I think that could really help. Here's a double play.
Altuve will flip it to Correa, and they turn 2 on Maxwell. McCullers gets the ground ball he was looking for. Lance has got more and more ground balls every season. This year has been his highest percentage. He needed that one.
No, and I think that's what's great. Kind of the evolution of Lance McCullers is when we first saw him as a rookie, he was a high punch-out guy, started to pitch a little more to contact and understood that he could get ground balls.
Yes.
So he's done a great job that with the K rate going up and the ground ball rate going up.
Right, and the thing that you want is for him not to use the bullets all the time that he has in his arsenal. He can throw that 2-seamer, throw that change, the 2-0 changeup to somebody instead of a hook that you think is a fastball because it comes out like a 2-seamer and gets you ground ball to third, ground ball to short. That's a good pitch.
That's a good pitch that's called a ball. It's 1-0.
But so you don't have to. So that makes that breaking ball that much better. Because if you haven't seen it and you get to that situation with 2 strikes,
oh, man.
Yeah, man. Good luck on that one.
Yeah, swing yourself into the ground.
As well as Lance's pitch tonight. Now, that one was low, but he hasn't gotten the low strike very often.
But that was a good sequence right there. He threw fastball in and then throw his breaking ball. He threw a changeup, which comes out the same plane as his fastball.
Popped up into left field. Fisher comes in and over.
It's just a changeup away. He got that pitch that we just talked about.
Doubled up on it, too.
Doubled up.
Lance is solid through 6. Couple of hits, no runs. Presented by BBVA. Compass are available for kids 12 and under. Buddies will receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for only $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up. 6th inning baseball. Top of the order due up for the fourth time tonight. George Springer, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa. They will face a new arm out of the A's bullpen, Wilmer Font. Font just acquired from the Los Angeles Dodgers on Wednesday. Hard-throwing right-hander. Those are his numbers with LA. Led the Pacific Coast League last year in ERA and in strikeouts. Has given up his share of home runs this season, 5 this year already in 10 1/3 innings as Springer takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
Fastball, curveball, slider, split finger. Pitches in the low 90s. He's listed as a left-handed pitcher on our lineup card.
Baggy just pointed to right field. You feeling a drive to right?
Oh.
You felt that one.
I did. He's been working that way today.
That's where his home runs have come against.
We have to keep Cole Hamel pitching against us for the rest of his life.
Why is that?
He's got 3 homers off of him already this year. All to right center.
Font in his A's debut, facing the top of the order. We'll hear from Julie after this batter. She'll check in with us about Jose Altuve. 1-1 pitches into George. It's 2-1.
That wind has really kicked up in the last 3 or 4 innings, hasn't it? Were you a roof open or roof closed guy?
Roof closed.
Just controlled environments?
Yes.
Yep.
People, I don't know if the fans can feel it. It's so different on the field. Oh.
Ball crushed to left field. Forget about it. This ball's gone in a hurry. George Springer with his 5th home run of the year, and it's 8-0 Astros. You felt he was going to hit one, Baggy.
I did. You know, and that should be George's mentality all the time. You take the fastball and you try and hit the Lexus thing out there. You throw a hanging breaking ball and you do that with it.
When you say the Lexus thing, you mean the bullpen?
Bullpen, yeah.
He almost hit the Lexus sign and left. He crushed that pitch.
Hang it, you bang it.
Yeah.
But that's that mentality that Baggy's talking about. Take the fastball up the middle the other way, and you get yourself a hanging mistake. You unload.
Yeah, because what happens is your focus is on right center, so you're staying closed. That means in towards the pitcher. So your front shoulders are pointed at the pitchers, and if they throw you that hanging breaking ball, you're set in the right hitting position, and that's when you unleash on a hanger like that.
You're gonna have to sit and talk to George more often.
I enjoy talking to George. He's actually entertaining.
He is highly entertaining.
He is. We're getting fired up talking about Altuve.
He's an energy guy. You need those guys in the clubhouse.
You do. We got a bunch of them.
1-1. Altuve lays off. 2-1. Altuve bats for the 4th time tonight in the 6th inning. 2 hits in the 1st and the 2nd. A single and a double. Drove in a run. And he also flied out to right.
Must be nice to get mad when you're hitting 330. And things are going awful.
Struggling at 330.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, when you see George do stuff like that, that's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, the ability is like off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if most people understand how big George is. I mean, he's just a big dude. Oh, we got him.
Altuve, back-to-back jacks. He hits one onto the train tracks. Train number 27 has just left Union Station, and it's 9-0 Astros.
I've got something to say too before that. Every time somebody hits a home run in front of Altuve, he always tries to hit a home run. He does. Watch it. Pay attention. Somebody hits a home run in front of him. He's going to take one swing to go deep. I promise you. And he happens to be that good.
You've noticed that whenever you see a guy hit a home run beforehand, he'll take one home run.
Yes, he does. Watch.
We've got a lot of home run swings to break down with Springer and Altuve going back-to-back, and now Altuve giving the scouting report.
See, that's the other stuff right there, like he's doing right there. Instead of going down and looking at stuff, he's talking to his teammates, telling them what he saw. I mean, that's kind of a lost thing that I don't like nowadays a little bit. Is guys are so much, when they make an out, or even if they get a hit or they get called on the strikes, the first thing they do is they go down and look at their stuff. I'm okay with that, but there's so much you can learn just by watching the game, where you find out what a guy throws 2-1, what a guy throws 1-0, and just watch. And then you sit there and go, oh, okay, he's done it 3 times in a row. Maybe I should be looking for that pitch. And you get that by watching the game of baseball, not watching your film on an umpire that struck you out, that there's really nothing you can do about it because it's over. If you have the technology, it's there. You can do all that kind of stuff, and you can learn. But I think there is something about watching the game of baseball.
Fastball backs Correa off the plate. Back-to-back home runs for the Astros, and then the star shortstop has one up and in, and the fans don't like that. It's 1-2.
Don't make a mistake right here.
Font has now allowed 7 home runs in 10 1/3 innings this year. 2-2 the count. Altuve hits his second.
So this is the tweener pitch right here, where everything in your mind saying, I know he's going to throw me a curveball right here, or whatever that pitch is. But you still have to be ready to hit a heater because he throws hard enough.
Into right field, did get the curveball and flies out to right. Julia, what do you have for us?
I've got Shiner Box Spotlight calling on Jose Altuve. Just went deep. Altuve's been saying it for years. Wanted to be an Astro for a really long time because he looks up to guys like Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell, and Baggy. One of the things that Altuve said to me a couple of times over the past couple of years is how much he loves you and your presence and the things that you've said to him over the last couple of years. You've really made an impact on him and his career, really. I'm just wondering if you could share some insight on what it is you're telling this guy, because he is such a fan of you and of you being around, and just whatever it is that you say to him has really stuck with him.
Thanks, Julia. But, he has to look up to me because he's 5'5". But other than that, you know what? The first time I ever saw him was in spring training. He was on a field, and I watched him walk up to him. I said, who is this little guy? And the way he put his helmet on and got in there, I said, man, this kid's got something about him. Then he hit some line drive to the second baseman. And they said, well, I said, what are you going to do with him? They're like, we're going to put him in low A. I said, no, you're not. And I just...
Based on what?
Just his presence in the box. He does something with his helmet. I'll see if he does it next time up. He's engaged, and he's just a gamer. And, I mean, he's just an inspiration to everybody, and I'm sure he gets tired of hearing, making short jokes and all that kind of stuff because he's so good. But there's something about Jose that it brings out the best in everybody. He's just a great person to be around. When he signed his contract, I flew down to spring training with him. I mean, I truly believe I was more happy about him getting it than he was. I really do. And, he's the first person I saw when I got down to spring training. He brought me in I didn't even get to the locker yet. And he said, come on, I want you to look at something. Am I hitting? Watch how he stays closed. Then going. See his back leg? Back legged it. Yeah. The balls he hits to the right, he doesn't do that. He actually does sometimes right side. But he's just he just wants to get better. He's not satisfied ever. And I appreciate that. I was laughing to myself when he called me in. And he's like, look at this. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy just won the MVP. He hit 346 or 7, and he's talking to me in spring training about what it's like to hit 3-2. I mean, how do you not love that?
You got to.
I mean, I just think the kid's great, man. I just could not be more happy for this organization. Happy for him. I mean, he's generally a good person. And, in a world today where, you don't find great people, it's not just because he plays baseball. He's just a good person.
You know what he is?
Huh.
He's adorable.
See, that's why he doesn't like that kind of stuff anymore. Adorable.
He's adorable.
He is adorable.
Everything about him is, like you said, is perfect.
I know. You know what? I saw him the other day. It was a Saturday night. I went to see Opie and his paintings.
Yeah.
I walked in because I thought there was something I wanted to see in this other store. There's Altuve and his daughter and his family hanging out, just standing there in the Galleria. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How does he not just get mobbed?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, but that's what makes him so special. I mean, I just don't know. I can't say that.
What was he doing?
I have no idea. He's standing outside of what? Neiman Marcus.
He was. Entire
like, what are you
family.
doing?
Mom, Dad, everybody was there, walking around the mall.
I mean, he looked like a bum off the street. I mean, he had like shorts that were cut up. He had like semi-high tops on, and I'm like, dude.
That was the best scene because Altuve and Jeff Bagwell are having a conversation in the middle of the Galleria, and there's not that many people that are noticing.
How are you in there not getting mobbed?
Nobody cares about me. Everyone, I'm more impressed with him than about myself. I'm tired of myself. I've seen my act. No, but and that's what makes the whole team, man. They're just special. And Jose, I mean, there can't be a better guy that got that contract and that he's going to be here for the next 7 years for our organization.
It seems like every time an accolade goes his way, he's always talking about his teammates. It's never about him.
He does. And you know what? I truly believe he means it.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. And by the way, does anybody did he win every award in America?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think so. I don't think there was one award
I don't
he
think
did
there
not
was
win.
either.
I think he won the Heisman. He won everything. Yeah, he won Sports Illustrated Man of the Year,
He did.
along with JJ. He won AP Male Athlete of the Year, beat out LeBron and Tom Brady.
Those guys?
Yeah, beat those guys out.
Those guys.
I mean,
that's awesome. Yeah, I think we get spoiled because we see him every day. But, with the World Series and all the accolades, he deserves all of it. And he is the face of our franchise, and it's fun to see, man. And I don't see how anybody can be disappointed.
Well, one thing you brought up was his work ethic and how he's coming to you in spring training. And you got to sit around the best of the best last year when you were inducted into Cooperstown. To me, that's what separates guys who are very good players from the elite is the way they are never satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, I played against and I've seen guys that have way more talent than a lot of dudes that were sitting in that room in Cooperstown. Maybe not all of them. I can't even say that. I say
But
me.
some guys.
Me.
No, but some guys, you're right.
But there's the other stuff that goes on that takes you to a different. It's the work ethic. It's what you do inside your head. Those are the guys generally that separate. That when they think and they put their mind, they have the ability, God-given ability, to get it done and to work real hard to make sure that it stays. The easy thing for people to do in the game is to have one big year. It's guys that can maintain it. The guys that can have to win a batting title 3 out of 4 years. To get 200 hits before he even gets out of bed in the morning, I swear. I mean, he's going to get it this year if he stays healthy. But, those are the kind of guys that can maintain it for a long time. Look at Craig. He played 20 years. Craig got tons of hits, 600 doubles, and 1,900 runs. Those are the guys that are just different than everybody else. And that's what Jose is, and that's what he means. And that's why you make him the face of your franchise.
30-pitch inning for Wilmer Font, and he gets Reddick on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Max will have to throw down to first, and he does. 2 more runs for the Astros. You felt George's home run coming.
Yeah, I did, actually. You know why? Because he was staying through the ball, trying to hit the ball to right center, and if you do that, you stay with that mentality, you can do that.
And then out 2. It's 9-0. It's all Astros tonight as we head to the 7th.
The new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account. You're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Colors back out there to start the 7th. Just looking at his pitch usage today, more fastballs than curveballs.
And I think you look at that. For me, I add the 36 and 14, so that's 50 to me, because the change and the two-seam come out the same. The curveball puts a little bit more on it. I mean, the thing you have to give Lance. I understand. I mean, he's got one of the best curveballs there, and people look absolutely ridiculous when he throws it. But I'm just trying to. I'm just thinking about taking. I mean, look at that. Come on. I just think he takes some pressure off his elbow, and he gets the pitch like this. He's in the 7th inning. He's got 86 pitches.
Very efficient.
Yeah, it just makes sense to me. There's another changeup.
Changeup's been working well. I know he's really gone to the changeup a lot more this year than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and I love it. It's a good changeup. It comes out just like his two-seamer.
Marcus Semien leading off.
I pretty much bet the house, though, on a hook right here.
2-strike hook. You want a house. Strike on the foul tip. Caught by McCann. That is strikeout number 6 for Lance McCullers. We've seen this time around in the homestand, Lance retired the first 15 batters.
But see, guys, see what the difference is there? He doubles up on changeups. He throws that heater away. All he's got to do is throw one of those curveballs. I mean, it totally changes every single thing. If I saw that 2 times, then maybe I have a better idea of how it's going to break. I only got to see it once.
Chad Pinder bats for the first time. He came on defensively a couple of innings ago for Jed Lowry. Well, Lance right now sitting at 90 pitches with this delivery. This is inside. It's 2-0.
Yeah, but see, that's good stuff right there, guys. I mean, you throw that thing out there. That outside part of the plate right now got about 6 inches farther for the hitter, even though he's 2-0. You could throw a 2-0 changeup right here, or just throw a fastball on the outside part of the plate.
I'm going to say that sinker still works.
Let's see how good he is.
McCann setting up outside.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Misses way up and in, and that's 3-0. Well, Lance, after going through 6 innings, only allowing a couple of hits and no walks, now 3-0 on Pinder, and missed that last spot by a good margin. And with that, we have our first bullpen action of the night. Hector Rondon warming up.
9-0. This will be it for him.
New center fielder in the game for the Astros. You called George Springer's home run, and now he's out of the game. Jake Marisnick takes over in this 9-0 game in center.
Love Jake. Nobody puts more effort into everything than Jake.
Now, after being down 3-0, he's back 3-2.
Yeah.
That was a little two-seamer.
Yeah.
What do you call it here? 3-2 count.
If he wants a hook, if he wants a strikeout, he's going to throw the hook.
He's almost automatic on 3-2 counts with the hook. Especially to lefty hitters, but over 70% to righties. McCann setting up outside. There it is. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts, 7 in the game.
My only question on that is, if we have all the information in the entire world, that must tell you how good his curveball is, because you got to know it's coming. I mean, you have to.
How about these guys? Our Houston Methodist League leaders are the American League ERA leaders. Sean Manaea just pitched last night. 3 of the 5 Astros in the rotation are on this list.
That's not even counting what Lance and Dallas do.
Look at that pitch. Wow.
So
And again, Lance's guy, you pull one start
out of
yeah,
there.
all of a sudden he might be on there
But see,
too.
here's the good news on that. That one start might make him better now for starts, you know, to see what he did wrong, and now he can make adjustments after that. And the last, 2 or 3 starts have been great.
Well, it's going back to the point that you made earlier in the game about the game is a game of failure, but it's how you adjust to that failure. Brian McCann actually brought it up and said this might be a good thing for Lance to learn from and be able to adjust moving forward.
Yes.
trying to win his 3rd straight game.
Well,
Julie, what do you have for us?
Yeah, just what Blummer was saying right there. McCann saying this could end up being the best start of your career. Just depends on what you do with it. Where do you go from here?
that's the story with everything, really. I mean, you can talk about life, talk about anything you want. You got to learn from your mistakes. I mean, this isn't life or death things, you know, pitching in a baseball game. But the failure, and it wasn't even a failure, it was just a bad outing. But he learned what he can do, what his ability, what he can do on a nightly basis. And I think you're right, you know, Julia and Blummy and TK. I mean, those things that can happen, especially a young guy like Lance, that he can just learn from.
Third ball chop foul.
I mean, who wouldn't want to have this kid's arm?
Oh, it's stuff like you said. It's
crazy.
It is crazy. But then you mentioned with the numbers that we know, the 3-2 counts, over 70% to righties, over 90% to lefties. Can you sit on a curveball 3-2?
Yep. I mean, with the numbers that you guys have shown me, yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size sample too.
I mean, like I said, you still have to respect his fastball, but you can have it in the back of your mind that I'm pretty sure that this is coming.
We are through 6.5, seventh inning stretch time at Minute Maid Park. The Astros and Lance McCullers rolling along in this 9-0 game. By Mercedes-Benz on this date on April 28, 1965. Mets broadcaster Lindsey Nelson decided to get into the gondola and go to the top of the dome to call the Mets and Astros game.
That makes no sense at all. To go that high above.
It's way above my
I think what Baggy pointed something out earlier. If you look really close down on that field, as this gondola goes up, there's a number 7 down there.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's Craig Biggio. He was trying to figure out how to hit a double through that thing.
Picking on Bish.
I love picking on Bish.
It's good.
Good man. Great player.
Bottom half of the 7th inning. Baggy joining us for the entire game tonight. It's been all Astros. Fans are going to want this to happen more often with the 9-0 lead, and Lance McCullers throwing a 2-hit shutout through 7 so far, as Alex Bregman takes a called strike on the outside corner.
FCC wouldn't let me on there anymore. Is that right?
Oh, they can just make some alterations to the delay.
You just have to have Lance not buzz the tower on a 2-0 pitch.
Yeah, seriously.
That scared everybody.
It does.
1-1 pitch to Bregman. Misses. Font wanted that a strike. It's 2-1. Alex has been on base all 3 times. Double, single, a walk. Bregman over his last 9, hitting .350. Alex doubled in a run in the first inning. Astros jumped out early against the starter Daniel Megden. 2 sac flies and an RBI double in the first. They added another run in the second, third, 2 more in the fourth, 2 more in the sixth.
Something good might happen right here.
Feeling good on this 3-1. Just missed it a little bit. Fly to left field for the first out. Jeff Bagwell, 9 seasons in the Astrodome, batted .303. Only player in the history of the Astrodome for 4 seasons or more with a career batting average of .300. And also the only player with 100 or more home runs in the Dome.
Huh. Look at that guy. No beard.
He was pretty good.
Halfway.
You're almost standing straight up there.
Halfway slam. Yeah, almost standing straight up. You're right. Oh, that was like 700 years ago.
Did you like hitting in the Astrodome?
I did. Well, I mean, bottom line is, I was just happy to get to the big leagues, and that was my home. It didn't bother me. A lot of people didn't like hitting there. It was dark, ball didn't carry. But, I mean, I did some stuff. You know, I'd come back from every road trip and hit early just to get my eyes focused back.
You'd have to adjust back to the Dome?
But I loved it there. I had no problem. People ask me that all the time. Well, what have you played here? What have you played in Fenway? What have you played? I said, oh, man, I'm pretty happy where I played.
Did you really feel that you had to make that much of an adjustment moving in here to Minute Maid Park? Or were you
I had
just
to
the
make,
same guy
no, I was a little. I did make an adjustment in 2000. Nobody pitched in at all anymore.
Yep.
So I decided I could hit the ball out to right. So that was my focus.
Was that Lexus on your focus? Marwin crushes one deep to right field. This has a chance to be a second deck shot. It is. Marwin hits a long home run. His second of the season, and the Astros now lead 10-0.
Here we come, guys. Good times.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, that ball was destroyed.
Marwin can hit a fastball.
Yeah, he can. That is very true.
He's like you, my friend.
I know.
I seem to remember someone down and in a 2005 World Series game.
There were plenty before that.
No, that was the only one I remember. Oh, that ball was up.
The ball was elevated at 93, and he still got the barrel out.
That's beautiful. Oh.
That is such a quick, direct path.
Yes, it is. And see, that's his little load in between right there. It starts down, brings his hands back up, and straight to the baseball. You have to have one of those things.
You have to have what you call the
a little
load.
bit of a load. Something has to get your hands going. Bregman does a little bit where you see his bat starts here and then he kind of tilts it back. Carlos has a little bit of one, not much. Yuli has really nothing except he waggles his bat. But you know, he's
Yuli reminds me of Julio Franco.
Oh,
kind of point that bat towards the pitcher and then come buggy whipping around.
Evan Gaddis, as the pinch hitter, pops up, and the first baseman, Matt Olson, takes over, makes the catch. We'll flash back. That was a good load right there.
Yeah, that was not bad right there.
Drive through that one a little bit.
I like that guy. Oh,
Burb.
sorry, Burbs.
Oh, you had a little of the waggle. That was.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that little hitch that you're talking about in your swing. Same game. Do you remember these ABs?
No. I remember taking Burbs deep twice because he wasn't real happy with me the next day. Good times.
Very.
It was a 19. There's no 2000 anything. It was 1997, whatever it was.
Great numbers in the Astrodome. Jeff Bagwell joining us in the booth tonight. Season high 4 home runs your first night in the booth. How about that?
See that? I told you we can't hit 4 home runs every night.
3 of them have come in the last couple of innings against Wilmer.
It's good to see. There's some good vibes going on right now. Got a shutout going, 10 runs, 11 hits, some homers. Boys will be happy.
0-2 the count to Derek Fisher.
Did you enjoy wearing all those Astro uniforms, the various different colors, shades?
You're talking about
some of the rainbows.
The ones that the giveaway ones?
Did you like the blue shooting stars?
The late Jamie Hildreth.
Yep.
He, you know, God bless his soul, but I aired him out every time because I never got hit in any of those uniforms. Ever.
Really?
Ever.
We're through
Ever.
7. 10 the Astros.
poll. As always, we thank you for voting in our poll and following us on Twitter. We asked tonight which aspect of Jeff Bagwell's career was the most underappreciated, and base running wins the poll tonight with 39%. Defense coming second. Being a good teammate, though, right there.
That would be my favorite one.
Teammate?
That's the only thing I care about. As long as they know they could count on me and that I was a good teammate and I had their back, that's all I cared about.
I would have voted for it.
Yeah, but nobody gave you a vote.
I know nobody ever does.
Yeah, you say that on the air, you won't say that.
Yeah, until I actually have to push the button.
It's unbelievable.
We have a new pitcher on in the 8th inning. Matt Olson leading things off against Hector Rondon. Quite an outing for Lance McCullers Jr. tonight as Rondon misses outside. It's 1-1. Rondon takes over on the mound. Evan Gaddis takes over behind the plate after pinch hitting for Brian McCann. 11th appearance of the season for Rondon.
Can you guys explain something to me? Just because I just was looking at Bregman way over there. You see when everybody... Oh, don't say that to your parents, kids. That kid that tried to bunt for a hit, was it for these guys? Who was it for? The kid that tried to bunt with the shift on, they were down like 7-0, and everybody got so mad at the catcher?
Yeah, you're talking about against the Twins.
Can you tell me what that kid did wrong? You're down by 7?
Tried to get a hit and get on base.
Down by 7? Now, if you're up by 7, that's a different story.
Yeah, then you're trying to rub
I don't
it in.
get that, man.
Chance Sisco for the Baltimore Orioles.
That is not, I don't care what anybody says, that is not going against any rule. Or you're trying to get on base. I don't care how you get on base.
If you're not trying to get him out.
Yeah. If you're losing by 7 runs, I don't care. You're up by 7, totally different ball.
Right.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I just don't want kids to think that that's how that's perceived out there, that that's the unwritten rule. That is not right.
To roll over and give up?
No, you do not. You fight. Especially in today's game with how big dudes are and how you can score runs in bunches. You do whatever you can to win baseball games.
Well, Chance's teammates all had his back, too. I know Chris Davis was saying if they had shifted me, I was thinking about bunting because they needed base runners.
Exactly right. What are you supposed to do out here? We're looking at the win-losses for this month. We're looking at all wins. We're looking at winning. You have to win baseball games. What happens if that happens? He gets on base and you never know. They come back and win that baseball game.
Well, it goes to what A.J. Hinch has always preached. He has said that if I can get 2 or 3 guys to do 3 good things in a row,
right,
we're going to score runs.
Exactly. And things can happen.
Oh, quickly.
Things can happen.
Especially in this day and age where everybody's uppercutting the ball out of the ballpark.
I know. I just don't want people to think that's the way it is. Now, that all other stuff of hitting guys and all that, I got my own opinion on that. That is more old school than whatever.
So some lessons for the kids today. Don't say you look at it to your parents.
Exactly.
And you're allowed to bunt even if it's 7-0 because you're trying to get on base.
There's probably a few other things that I don't want the kids to learn that I said, but
I have no idea what that could be.
Yeah, me neither. No, but no, this game is special, and it does have old rules kind of that you go by, and a lot of things have changed. And the funny part that I get is when I see people on TV saying, "Oh, I don't understand this," and they played. I don't get that part. I don't see how you lose it from the field to wherever you're broadcasting or wherever you're talking on TV. I don't understand how you lose that. And a lot of the things that happen in this game when you see these fights, and you can say what you want about throwing, guys. Nobody wants to get hit in the head, and I get all that kind of stuff. But that's another thing when I'm saying you spend so much time with each other, you have each other's back. No matter what happens, man. You're out there and you're with your boys, man. And that means something. That's why this team is so special. Besides,
ball's hooking just foul off the bat of Chapman.
Besides their ability and all that, it's how much they love each other, and it is something special, and that's part of the game. That's like, and Blummy, you would think maybe I wasn't going to bring this up in the 7th inning, but this is why I'm bringing this up. That play at second base.
Oh man.
Where they've decided that you can't take out the second baseman or the shortstop, I think is a travesty to the game. I don't care if everybody hears that, because that was just part of what was taught. And it's another camaraderie thing. You take somebody out, it's first and second, ground ball to short. You take out the second baseman, now it's first and third. I mean, that's just part of the game. And everybody gets crazy about it.
Well, you can extend the inning if you break up that double play and force the guy to actually make a good turn, as opposed to what we see now is guys just sit on second base, catch the ball, and throw it.
Robbie Cano is the biggest one, and Robbie has a cannon for an arm. So
yes,
it's not a big deal for him. He just stands there and turns it. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, and I wish that part was still in the game.
Well, you would, as a runner who you knew your role, ground ball, you don't have a role now as you head into second base. You don't have a role. You don't try and break. It's almost like
there's so
no
many things that
purpose.
happen too. I mean, I remember Biz did it at least one time for me. You know, you roll the ball all over in the hole over there, and things have changed a little bit because we have the shifts and all that. But when you get a guy in the hole and he has to go to second base, and the guy at first beats the throw, you get a base hit for that, and your team's first and second. Those kind of things I don't see anymore because it's just like that play between first and second is just not there anymore. I mean, King Caminiti would have literally ripped my head off if I didn't try and break up a double play. Like literally ripped my head off.
He could have.
Yes, and I was scared of him.
Cammy was awesome.
He told me I used to fall over home plate. So one day I struck out against somebody again, and I kind of fell over, and I'm walking past him, and he looked straight at me with that face and goes, "If I get hit, I'm going to kill you." And I went, "Oh." And then I tried to work on not falling over home plate anymore. But that's the kind of stuff, man. I mean, those are the fun things that I talk about, and I just remember. I mean, the relationships that you make in this game with your teammates, whether it's us, I'm calling us broadcasters.
You've changed.
Yeah, I know I've changed. I'm back up here now. So it's just so special, man, that you just wouldn't get a chance to do if you're in any other profession. I mean, every single day for 8 months, we're with each other. And then even on off days, we hang out. We go play golf or do something like that. Your families get together. I mean, that's what's special, man. The relationships you make in this game that I would have never had opportunities to if I didn't play baseball. That's my soapbox for the night.
No, I just appreciate the fact that you can threaten somebody's life in this sport and still respect them. There you go.
5-4-3 double play.
Yeah.
Rondon needed that after a walk and a single.
Good.
Power player of the game is presented by TXU Energy. It's Lance McCullers. Had himself a brilliant evening in front of the great Jeff Bagwell. We saw a different mix, too. Baggy wanted to see more fastballs and curveballs, and he got it. 41 fastballs, all two-seam fastballs. He threw that curveball 37 times, and I think the great number that Baggy also would enjoy to know is that he has thrown 20 changeups according to our StatCast numbers. So a great outing for Lance. Pitched deep in this ball game and pitched well with the lead, too.
Yes, he did. He did an outstanding job. He continues to get better, and it's just wonderful to see. And he didn't have too many high pressure situations right now, but all this stuff that he's doing now, when he gets to those situations, that he can fall back on and use those to get outs that normally he doesn't have to throw a whole bunch of pitches and a whole bunch of breaking balls. And, that devastating breaking ball that he does have, I just think it makes him more of a complete pitcher. And you saw it tonight, and you can't argue with what you see.
Plummer circled 2 walks in his last 3 starts. His numbers since that outing in Minnesota have been phenomenal. 6 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings, 2 runs allowed.
Awesome. I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. Talking to B-Mac and getting that stuff with that outing is going to something that he can build on. And, he's doing it. And, that's great to see for a young kid doing that.
100 pitches tonight, 65 for strikes. 2 outings ago, he struck out 11 Mariners in 7 innings. Last start, just 3 strikeouts against the White Sox as he had to work out of the stretch a little bit more in that game. And tonight, he was in control from the start.
Exactly.
Retired the first 15 he saw.
Get after guys, get them out. The offense is doing their job. It's a beautiful thing.
In this homestand, we have now seen Keuchel and Cole retire the first 13 batters in their starts. Verlander retire the first 14 batters in his start. And McCullers tonight retiring the first 15 batters in his start. It's
unbelievable.
It really is. And they just keep going with tomorrow's starter.
I mean, isn't it just a good feeling, man? You just sit here and go, we just keep this train rolling, man. We just keep going.
There's no break.
There's nothing.
Jake Smolinski in his first at bat of the night sends one to center field, and Jake Marisnick puts it away in center for the final out of the 8th. Houston Astros baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Bayou Bash Street Fest before the game on this Saturday night. Sold out crowd, 41,493, and they have watched a great evening of Astros baseball. 10-0 Houston. 4 home runs in this game. And Jake Marisnick, who came on for George Springer defensively, getting his first at bat as he faces pitcher number 6 of the night for the Oakland A's, Emilio Pagan. Todd Kalish, Jeff Blum. As always, Julia Morales with us, and tonight our special guest in the booth for 9 innings, Jeff Bagwell. Well, in the first couple of innings, we saw Altuve with 2 hits. We speculated if he might get to 5. Won't get to 5 tonight.
He'll get to 4 though.
He could get to 4 for the 26th time of his career.
Oh my God. It's like video game stuff.
And he's got a chance for the cycle. Single, double, and home run.
What?
He's got a chance for the cycle tonight.
So you're saying he's got a chance.
1-1 the count. You ever come close to the cycle, Baggy? You get one?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you need last?
Triple. I'd rather
Really?
I'd rather hit a home run.
You needed the triple and got the triple.
I did. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Where'd you do it at?
Here.
Wow. Up on Towels Hill, a couple guys collide.
Wow.
You know what? There's no need to get rude just because I'm leaving here in an inning. No, actually, it was to right center. Somebody collided somebody. Bracamonte held it underneath the fence.
Pinned somebody down.
Bracamonte grabbed it.
1-2 the count to Jake Marisnick.
My funniest. I am the worst. I went down to watch our AAA team play. We had he was our shortstop. What was his name? I forgot. He hits for the. He played with us. He sent him down. He hits for the cycle down there. He comes in the dugout. He's all excited and everything. He comes walking over to me. I said, "Nice job, man. It's only downhill from here." He goes, "Thanks, Baggy." I said, "Don't worry about it." I crushed him. Tommy Manzella.
Remember Tommy Manzella?
Yeah.
All fired up, and he
Yeah, I busted him. He's a good kid.
stays inside on Jake. It's 3-2.
But see, that's, I mean, as I'm joking about it, I mean, it's just the game doesn't stop, man. It keeps coming at you. You can go, you can hit for a cycle, and you can strike out 3 times. You run into Kerry Wood in '98.
Oof. Even watching the video from those highlights is still trying to wonder how he created so much break.
Well, ask him about his elbow about a year later.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I like Kerry. He's a good guy.
Jake draws his first walk of the season. There you go.
Take that.
Jake on first base to lead off the 8th. There were over 42,000 hits in 2017. Jose Altuve didn't have them all. All you need is one to keep the streak alive. Download Beat the Streak today and compete to win $5.6 million. Go to MLB.com/BTS or download Beat the Streak in the App Store today. Chance to see a 4-hit game tonight.
And the cycle.
And the cycle.
All we need is a gapper. I guarantee he's going.
Hope he doesn't get tripped up by his helmet this time.
I know, that's right. That was funny.
That was extremely funny.
Brandon Barnes, the last Astro to hit for the cycle in 2013.
I was talking to Blummy, for everybody at home. Look how far Jose looks like he's standing away from home plate. You would think that there was no chance that he can get to the ball away. It's right in this angle. Well, maybe, but if you look at it straight on,
and he opens
look
up.
at that. I mean,
Blummy, you missed it. Yeah, I'm calling him Blummy now because you call him Blummy.
oh yeah, my bad. There's other things I
Plumber.
call him too. I'm already going to get
Yeah.
thrown off the air anyway, so I might as well call it.
Go for it. Give it. Bring it.
No.
So he's got good speed in front of him, which you need to try and
Yes.
get a triple.
Yes.
Because
A great speed from him. So he's so far. He can handle 6 inches outside of that plate.
It is deceptive.
It is.
there you go.
Those
Pitch
are 2
away.
great pitches. But see, he'll do that, and then, he'll end up throwing it down the middle and kill it.
Well, that's the thing. You spoil off something nasty like that, and you get one out of the plate.
That's what you got to do. Somebody asked me about my bat the other day in the locker room. I looked at, I think it might have been Jake's. I said, no, I can't use this. I need a bat with a bigger barrel. I need to tip some stuff. I got to fight some stuff off, man.
Yeah.
I got to be too good with this thing.
What size bat did you swing?
33, 32.
Have you seen Jose's bats?
Yeah.
He's a 33, 31 ounce.
Everybody uses a light ounce now. When I first got to the big league, Bob Watson told me, you'll never hit for power with the bat you're using. Because he used like a 35, 35.
Really?
Yeah. But, you know, back then, that's what those guys used. All those guys back then, they used big bats. I can handle the weight. I can't handle the length. But I held my 2 fingers off the end of the bat.
You went 2?
Well, it was in my ring finger.
I always did the 1 finger off the bottom.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Well,
you
it was
did
the knob. Yeah,
2
the knob was right here. That's why I broke this hand, this metacarpal twice. My doctor's term. Metacarpal. It's actually
pretty good.
I saw my doctor not really. Watch this.
1-2 the count. You see these axe handles now.
I know. George uses that. Carlos used to use one too. I don't think he uses it anymore. I'm not sure. It's kind of different. So basically, it's doing the same thing except you're using. I think the knob goes down that way.
And it keeps the knob from digging into that.
Yeah. George uses a small bat too.
Does he? I haven't checked
It's
it
like
out.
33 and a half, 31 ounces.
Really?
Yeah.
Should be getting that through the zone pretty quick then.
It does.
Altuve reaches out, and there's hit number 4. Jose Altuve with his second 4-hit game of the season.
And to George. George is so mad right now.
George is somewhere in the clubhouse mad.
Yeah.
He's got his shower shoes on right now, and he's livid.
Look where
This
that
is how
ball
you
is.
teach it. You teach it with the rear end going in the dugout.
It's unbelievable. it's magical. Look at that. If I do that, it rolls right to the pitcher.
How many times would you say, just touch it? That's all Jose has to do. Just get a barrel on it. Just touch it.
Just touch it.
26 times with 4 hits. He matches.
Serious?
Yeah, I played 28 more years than he did. He'll beat Biz by the end of the year. It's crazy.
It is.
How about that? That's a pretty good trio right there.
You know what, though?
Timing is everything.
Nothing that he... Especially for bad jokes.
You got one?
Yeah. No. No, it's just, it really, it's just something that you just can't even explain. I mean, what part of that is good hitting, except the fact that he got hit? His butt was at third base, but his head stayed straight, I guess.
Hand stayed back, maybe a
back.
little bit
That's
enough.
the key.
Yeah.
Correa up the middle.
Oh, there's another base hit. We'll take that.
Bases will be loaded as Correa has his first hit of the night. That extends the hitting streak to 12 games.
Time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Who am I? Player of the Year. College and Major League Baseball World Series. Switcheroo. Who could it be? You got a guess, Baggy?
No, it's not me. I know that.
Me either.
Yuri's due for a hit.
He's been hitting the ball into some tough luck. 0 for 3 tonight. Does have a sac fly. Scored the first run of the game. This is the breaking ball, 0-1. Yuli got the scoring started for the Astros in that first inning. 13 hits now for Houston and 10 runs. Yuli's the only one in the lineup that does not have a base hit tonight. Now that Correa picked up his first hit. What a 1 to count.
96.
Yeah, let's bring a little fuel. Kind of a crossfire, too.
Pulled across that to
Jake on third, Altuve on second, Correa on first.
Oh.
Line drive to Simeon, and everybody will stay at their bases. That's 1 out in the 8th. Josh Reddick already has 2 grand slams this season.
He does.
Well, you just saw Altuve tie you in the record books. Reddick became the first Astro to hit 2 grand slams in a month since you did it.
Me?
You had 2 grand slams in the month of May a few years back.
Phew. Centuries. I had 2
in a month. Yeah.
That's a nice month.
Popped up. Chapman gives it a look at third base, and he will have room. Oh, Reddick.
That's one thing I always felt with the roof open. All of the foul balls always came back on the field.
It does. That ball down the left field line,
yeah,
it stays straight. Well, see, I think I was trying to talk about it earlier. I don't know if fans, I mean, you see the flags up there. Maybe if you're sitting in the seats, I don't know how it works. But if you see on the field sometimes like at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, if you look at the players that wear baggier pants, you'll see them kind of flagging around there. I mean, the wind is pretty strong. I have no idea which way it blows, in, out, sideways. I have no clue.
You got a couple physicists out to try and figure that out, right?
Well, yeah. Drayton hired him, but they never found out why.
Inconclusive?
Yes. Keep playing.
Just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging. Find him Dory. Sorry.
Spoken like a true father.
Yeah. Between you and I, we got 8 girls.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, you got 4.
It's
I got 4.
It's a good thing Doug Brocail's not in the house.
Yeah.
What would the total be then?
13? That's all.
That's all.
We get extremely loud, extremely quick.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman, he's been on base 3 times tonight, an RBI double, infield hit, a walk.
This is where, as a player, you got to grind right here. You're up 10-0.
Greedy.
Yes.
Get greedy.
Slider for a strike. It's 1-2. Found the game where you hit for your cycle.
Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah. July 18th, 2001.
17-11?
Yeah, you won 17-11.
Oh, my God. 2001?
Yep. Got your triple off of Andy Bennis.
Andy or Allen?
Andy. Andy came in out of relief that day.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, needed the triple, got it. That was a big box score. You had 4 hits. Lance Berkman behind you had 3. Moises Alou had 3, including a home run.
Not shocked there.
Didge hit a home run, had 4 runs scored.
Wow, 17 runs.
Yep. On 16 hits. They had 11 runs on 18 hits. It was a good night for hitters.
Who started that game for us?
1-2 pitch to Alex is ripped foul into the crowd. Your buddy Roy Oswalt started out.
Oh my God. What a shout out to Gary Pettis for his son Dante Pettis.
How cool was that? I love that after the game, he put on the 49ers hat, did his little post game. Yeah, it was awesome.
I am so ecstatic for him. That has got to be such a thrill.
Right around the anthem, he did get a chance
I know,
to go
it was right
in.
after, yeah. He did see it happen on TV? That's awesome. What a thrill that is.
That's the guy who grew up in the Bay Area.
Yep.
His family's
still there, right?
Yeah, still out there. So couldn't have happened in a better place for Gary and Dante. Congratulations to them.
For sure.
He's got a chance to make an impact too. Led the nation and set a record for punt returns.
He's got a video of him and his wife went to a game and he took back a touchdown. It was cool to see. They had the video and you see it because you start watching and then you're looking at trying to see the whole thing, so the camera's off and you hear him screaming. It was fun.
2-2 to Bregman. Bases loaded. Now the count's full.
This is where you grind right here. Bases loaded, 3-2 pitch. Get a strike.
RBIs have been spread out tonight. Marwin has 2. Alex has 1. Derek Fisher has 2. Springer now 2 base solo home runs. Sold out crowd standing on this Saturday night. Everybody will be off on this 3-2 pitch. Tried to check his swing and fouled.
Through the breaking ball.
Altuve was almost passing Marisnik.
That was big, that little tip. That's the tip that I was talking about you need with your bat.
Yep, that's that extra circumference of the barrel.
Eighth of an inch. Maybe 60.
Got the heater.
I love that this is how you watch games at home.
Oh,
and you
I do.
watch them. This is how you watch them with us in the booth.
I do, exactly.
It's
Sorry.
awesome. No, it's great.
I
That's what it's about.
I need adult supervision.
No, keep it up. This is perfect. You joining us in the booth, and this is the insight we need. This is Jeff Bagwell watching the game at home with the viewers. Bagwell hit his first, Bregman hit his first home run last year. It was a grand slam.
Derek Jeter Day.
Yep. 10th pitch of this at bat. Ball 4.
The good news is there's not a good fastball hitter up.
Bregman drives in a run with a bases loaded walk.
That front knee might get to his earlobe.
Load that thing up and get ready.
We gave you Name That Astro earlier in this inning, brought to you by Nissan. We're going to give you the answer now. Who am I Player of the Year? College and Major League Baseball World Series. Switcheroo.
Burke.
You're close, just a couple of letters off.
Lance, he had a heck of his last year at Rice. Wow.
Yeah. No, he can hit some serious lasers all over the field.
I'll tell you what, one of the best I've ever seen or ever played with, for sure. Special.
Number 6 on the all-time home run list for switch hitters.
Lance can hit. Entertaining too.
Yeah, you guys always had good conversations.
Marwin's already driven in 2 runs tonight, a sac fly and a solo home run. Astros have had a lot of base runners tonight, 20 in all, and they've scored in every inning but one.
Also 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
So we've had a 9 this one.
Too many home runs.
Ball hit well the other way. Smolinski will get there, though, and make the play for the final out of the inning. Well, the Astros add another run to their lead. It's 11-0 heading to the 9th.
Dog Night presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. Enjoy all the dollar hot dogs you can eat this Tuesday when the Astros take on the Yankees. For your ticket to Dollar Dog Night, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. One more game to finish off this 3-game set against the Oakland A's. It's going to be Trevor Cahill, right-hander, big sinker baller, going up against Garrett Cole, who's got phenomenal numbers. 2-1 with a 1.29 ERA going up against these Oakland A's to finish off this series before the Yankees head to town.
On we go to the 9th. Tony Sipp on to face number 9 hitter Bruce Maxwell in the top of the order for the A's. Trying to put a finishing touch on this 11-0 game. Maxwell struck out and grounded into a double play. McCullers for 7 innings. Hector Rondon for the 8th. Double play helped him out. And now Tony Sipp in the 9th. One of those games, Baggy, where as a player, or in this case as an announcer, you watch from afar. So far, everything's gone the Astros' way. It was one of those.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. This is a good feeling game for the boys right here. You know, they're going to come out here. The good thing is they get to play again tomorrow morning, so keep it going. As they say, keep the line moving. A lot of good things happening.
Ball sliced and into the lights a little bit that Fisher has to shield his eyes for. And there's one away in the inning.
What was it like for you guys last year? I mean, seriously, you guys really interrupted my sleep since I'm getting old. There's all those West Coast games, and we'd be like down like by 4 in the 7th. So then we get to about 10:30, quarter of 11, and I couldn't turn the game off.
Because you knew they were going to score.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they set all kinds of record-scoring numbers that late.
Like every night.
Yeah. Well, that's that never say die attitude these guys have.
Jake coming on the line drive by Matt Joyce, and he is out number 2 in the 9th inning.
Terry's tweeting at us, wanted to say thank you guys for a great show. This is the beginning of something beautiful. Don't be a stranger to the booth. Words of wisdom. I think that's your hashtag. Oh.
That's not right, man.
No, it was great having you in here, and it's going to be good having you in here.
Awesome stuff.
Enjoyed it very much.
One Saturday every month?
I don't know.
That works for us.
Ask Anita. She's my new boss. Tells me what I have to wear.
Works for us if it works for you.
Yeah. No, I had fun, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
11-0 game. We saw Altuve match you with his 26th 4-hit game of his career. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm sure my wife's happy too, because all I do is yell at the TV every single night, so now I get to yell with you guys.
Not much to yell at tonight.
Not tonight. Tonight was great.
I wasn't on my phone as much as I normally am.
No, you got to be straight here in the booth with you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, don't tell the fans that. So oh, Baggy must have said that.
Every starter tonight for the Astros either scored a run or had an RBI, so full effort all the way through. And Tony Sipp ahead of the count, 1-2. Now the entertained, sold-out Saturday night crowd will rise to their feet as the Astros are trying to improve to 18-10 on the season. They'd struggled a little bit at home recently, losing 5 of their last 6 at home. So they needed a win like this, and Simeon stays alive.
Yeah, these are good wins. Everybody contributed. A lot of positives today.
Divisional game.
Yep.
Coming in, leading the Angels by a half game in the AL West. The Angels are down big in the second inning to the New York Yankees. They're down 10-0.
Yankees. I'll tell you one thing you have to do with the Yankees. Make sure we don't walk too many guys. I watched that game the other day where Sanchez hit the home run and stuff. They got power, but the only thing we do have, though, our starters are special, man. They could have some strikeouts going their way.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that matchup, too.
Yeah, me too.
4-game series with the Yankees begins Monday, but the Astros defeat the Athletics 11-0 tonight. A 3-pitcher combined shutout. McCullers, Rondon, and Tony Sipp wrap up a 3-hit shutout. Offense from top to bottom. They started out by scoring 3 in the first and carried it on. A complete win tonight, guys.
It was outstanding.
You liked what you saw from Lance McCullers, and we finally saw the offense step up and back up their pitcher with a big outing.
I can't, for every way around, this was a great win. It starts with Lance, the way he pitched today, to add on to his last start. I think it's a great road we're going down there. Everybody contributed in different ways. We got some lucky hits, we got some bombs, we got a little bit of everything. Kind of like the way we've been used to getting things. As we talked about earlier about being spoiled, I like being spoiled.
We're going to have Jose Altuve join us here in just a moment as he puts on the headset on a night where he had his 26th career 4-hit game. Astros winning it 11-0. Jose, it's Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, and Jeff Bagwell. First of all, congratulations. A big team effort tonight from top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, guys, thank you. Absolutely. It was a great game. It seems like everybody came out ready today, swing the bat. We could score some runs. Lance threw a really good game. And, you know, we could win this game, and it's very important for us.
Interesting that we have Jeff Bagwell up in the booth. Jose, this is your 26th career 4-hit game. You just tied a Hall of Famer who's sitting next to me, and Jeff Bagwell. How's that feel?
No, it means a lot. You know, Jeff and me, we have a great relationship. He always come out to the clubhouse. He's, you know, giving me some tips and advices that help me to go out there and perform. And, you know, I'm really happy to have him as a friend. And, well, I mean, for me, it's an honor to tie him in whatever, you know, to tie whatever it is. A Hall of Famer is very important.
But Romano, you should have given me tips. I want to know how to hit like you.
Come on.
Come on, man. I mean, you already beat me in this. I mean, when is it going to stop?
No, I mean,
keep it going. I love it. You're doing great, my friend.
Thank you.
Hey, after Springer hit the home run, you got 1 and 2 in this week. Feels good to hit one right after George gets one, huh?
Oh, no, yeah, finally. I think, you know, hitting behind George is you know, it's pretty fun because it seems like he set the tone every single time. And, you know, I see him battle him like every single at bat, trying to get on base, hitting homers. So that gives me, you know, the little encouragement to go out there and get on base.
Hey, Jose, how much fun is it to play behind this starting rotation as well as they pitch?
No, we got the best starting pitchers in baseball. It's no doubt about that. I love, you know, all 5 guys, and it's really fun to play behind them and how hard they work in a single day.
Congratulations on a great night, Jose.
Nice job, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Great game, Jose.
Jose Altuve joining us on a night where he picked up 4 hits for the 26th time in his career in the Astros.